I'm Rob Paris for BU Sports, and welcome back to Red Devil Classic, where we look back at some of the finest moments from past seasons of BHS varsity football. We're throwing it back to the Red Devils' historic 2006 season a few times already. Now let's take a look at the grand finale, the Division II Super Bowl matchup against the Foxboro Warriors. For more, here's fellow BU Sports reporter, Phil Acaro.
Thanks, Robert. The final chapter of the historic 2006 season ended with the Division II Super Bowl against the Foxboro Warriors. Burlington came in as undefeated, while the Warriors were 10-2 with regular season losses against Central Catholic and North Attleboro. Even more impressive was that the Warriors won their chance at a spot against their undefeated rival Mansfield on Thanksgiving, just a week before this big game. After winning against Bishop Stang in the semifinal, it was time to face the Red Devils. Would the Devils claim their first ever Super Bowl undefeated season? Watch and see. Let's go back to December 2nd, 2006 at Alumni Field on the campus of Acton-Boxboro Regional High School and join Dan Brothers and Paul Strati as the Burlington Red Devils take on the Foxboro Warriors in the MIAA Division II Super Bowl.
You are now looking at pictures of the Burlington Red Devils as they stretch out and get ready for their Super Bowl Saturday matchup versus the Hockomock Conference champions Foxboro, coming in with a 10-2 record, and we welcome you to the BCAT pregame show. I am happy to be joined on this Super Saturday by guys that are accustomed to winning championships. To my right, Matt DeBarros on the 2004 team, Scott Kaplan, a lineman on 2014, and Adam Bird, who plays for Merrimack, also from the 2004 team. And Matt, I guess what it comes down to is when you start playing and you start your drills in August, this is what you play for.
That's right. I mean, they've been looking forward to this all year long. They've got the perfect season going right now. They don't want to leave here with the one in the loss column.
Scott, there's certainly a lot of emotion riding on this game. You played in quite a few emotional games. How do you counteract that before the game?
How do you counteract? Well, you just got to prepare, do your normal work, warm-ups. You got to stretch out, do all your little things. The little things are what matter. You got to make sure you're doing the same things, same repetitions, and go out there and perform.
And Adam, is there anything different you do, or is it you really just have to keep the same kind of routine?
You just prepare like it's any other game. You can't get caught up in the emotion because you mess up then. You just got to focus like it's just every other game that you played.
And I mean, let's face it, guys, these guys rolled over Natick. Wasn't much of a contest, but Natick's also a really small team. How does Burlington, I mean, we're sitting here before the game and Foxboro's huge. How does Burlington counteract that?
Well, this team, Foxboro, by the way it looks, I'm just looking over, they look pretty massive. I mean, I know Burlington's O-line is, they're not the biggest O-line, but they're stingy. The whole team's a stingy team. They have great team speed. So to counteract the big size, they're going to have to run all over the field and, put together some big plays.
We saw that early in the Natick game. Obviously, things didn't work well. They're down, 9-0, 3 minutes in. They're a pretty resilient team, though, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the toughest teams I've ever watched. We talked about the size. I think Burlington's tougher than these Foxboro kids.
And Adam, I think a lot of times when people will get now the crowd noise is starting to become an issue for us. A lot of times teams tend to change things when they fall down. How important is it that, Coach McGuire and Coach McCauley keep the same offensive game plan even when they get down a couple points?
Well, they've been down before. I mean, this is a tough team. They're very resilient. They faced adversity a lot. I mean, I was back for the Woburn game, and they were down. They showed they have courage. They have heart. They come back. I mean, they don't give up. I mean, that's pretty much what you got to do.
Let's talk about Teddy Mamadidis, because I think we can all agree that without him, the Red Devils might not even be in this situation right now. And Matt and I were joking that apparently this kid doesn't know the law of physics because, he doesn't stop when things hit him. I mean, it's just some of the runs he's made really remind me a lot of Joe Reale. How important is he, and how important are the blocks he's been getting?
The kid, basically this year, they needed someone to step up in Garrett's shoes. Everyone knows Garrett had a great junior year, and they needed someone big to step up, and Teddy filled those shoes, and he's been producing, since day one, and he's had a great year.
Talk about Danny Walsh, Matt, because I think a lot of times people tend to forget that he's had to have a big season too.
I mean, the kid's got like ice water in his veins. He's like, like the Tom Brady of Burlington, I guess, if you want to call him that. I mean, all the games I've been to, I haven't seen him make any mistakes. You know, he's just cool under pressure, gets the ball to his best playmakers, and that's what he's best at, really.
And we saw in Adam in the Natick game that it just seemed like Burlington just punished them with turnovers and hits. How important are turnovers in a game like this where momentum just goes like that?
Well, I mean, in any game, I think the statistic is like it's 85% of the time, if you win the turnover battle, you win the game. I mean, it's important for any game, but especially for a big game like this. I mean, you're facing a very, very good team, and you can't give them other opportunities to get up on you.
An area, Scott, that was often criticized up until last game probably was the Burlington cornerback. Some saying they were soft, they couldn't run with Natick, but they proved, if anything, they're probably one of the most talented secondaries in this division.
Well, the kids are quick, you know. The whole team has speed. That's what this team is based on. They're based on offensive speed and defensive speed. They might not be the biggest front. I mean, you got a couple big hogs up front in Lanero and Steele, but, you know, you got to have the speed, and they definitely do.
How important is going to be stopping the run, Scott?
Stopping the run?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they have to shut down this offensive line. I know they got a couple huge kids out here, and they shut down the run. You got to make the team one-dimensional. You make them focus on one aspect. I'm sure the coaches will adjust and you know force them into a corner.
Matt, does seeing all this atmosphere make you jealous?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I was back in high school right now, like standing on the sidelines watching these guys playing a game like this. But I mean, this is second best right now. I mean, we get to. We can edit that out.
No, don't edit it.
All right. What are the chances? All right. Adam and Scott, I'll ask you the same question. Does it make you a little jealous?
I miss playing back for Burlington. I mean, a lot of huge games. It was a lot of fun.
Now, this Foxboro team was a lot like your team back in 2004. They lost both of their non-conference games, come back to have a great regular season, and they rolled over Bishop Stang. They're pretty impressive.
Well, they're tough, you know. They're tough, and they're like our team in 2004. They look like it's all about the line. It's all about the hog mollies up front, and, you know, they got to shut that down. And again, they got to make them one-dimensional, and they'll win this football game.
So the key is forcing them to pass.
Force them into a corner, whether it's just, you know, either only passing or only running. Force them into a corner, win the turnover battle, get momentum, put up some points, and hold them down.
All right, Matt, I'm going to ask you this question now. A lot of motivation on the Foxboro side, too, because Jack Martinelli's playing for his 200th win.
Yeah, I was reading that in the Boston Globe, and they said that he's going to have to look for that one more win next year because he's not going to get that today. He's sitting on 199 right now. Burlington doesn't want to give him number 200 today.
All right, we'll be right back to wrap up the pregame show and send you upstairs. Coming up on 25 minutes until the Super Bowl. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. We're under 25 minutes until game time. The Burlington Red Devils and the Foxboro High School Warriors will match up for the Division II title. And something we forgot to mention in the first half was that Foxboro has been here before. They lost last year to Natick, so clearly wanting to get in the board with the championship today.
You know, they talk about experience. I think that Burlington, this is the first in school history Burlington's ever been here. I don't think they really care about that right now. They're just psyched to be here, and all that energy is going to produce in a lot of points, I think, going up on the board for Burlington.
We're going to do what people in the media do and speculate. If Danny Walsh leads them to a championship today, where does he rank among Burlington quarterbacks when we think of McGuire, the Reeds? Where does he rank?
Oh, he definitely ranks up there. I mean, he's a great quarterback. I mean, any quarterback that can lead a team to a Super Bowl undefeated season, that's something to be proud of.
Same question to you, Scott. What is that?
Where he ranks, I mean, he's got to be up there. I mean, this he's a phenomenal athlete. You know, he's a baseball star, too. So, I mean, he's way up on the list. McGuire, you know, got all those records. I'm sure Sean would love to say he was number one, but, you know, I don't know. Danny might pass him.
But I have a feeling Sean want to trade that for a Super Bowl ring.
I think he would.
Now, something we'd be remiss in talking about if we didn't was they have a great special team that's really stepped up the last couple of weeks, especially against Woburn. We see all three of their scores in the regulation period come off big kick returns.
Well, they got those two Langdon kids, both juniors, Little Piercy and
Little KK.
And Little KK. And they're little to us because we knew the older siblings. But, you know, and those kids have been lightning in a bottle. You know, they're going everywhere. So the kids got to make explosive plays. It jolts the team. And you saw it in the Woburn game. That was probably the reason why they won the game.
But still, I think it's important to realize that right now, you know, you can't rely on special teams all the time to make plays for you. So, Adam, I'll throw this to you. The running game has to work for them if they're going to win today.
Oh, definitely. You always want to establish the run and stop the run. I mean, especially with a running team like Burlington has. I mean, Teddy's been phenomenal all year. I mean, if he keeps it up today, I don't see how Foxboro can stop him.
All right, we're going to do a segment called Take Your Pick. I'm going to start with you, Matt. The MVP of this season as of now is?
Probably Teddy Mavrides is stepping in to Garrett Redfern's shoes and taking that ball and just pounding the rock, you know?
I was going to say the same thing. Teddy Mavrides, you know, just the way he stepped up. Since Teddy's taken, I'll take Danny Walsh for leading the football team, you know, or even Paul Linero for anchoring the line. You know, there's a couple big players out there.
All right, Adam.
Yeah, I'd say Teddy too. I mean, he stepped in when, you know, marquee player went down. I mean, he did really well. Plus, he's just a great team leader.
All right, take your pick. Best defensive player.
I mean, they got maybe the whole line, probably. Like, they just stuffed the run. Like the last game we saw, they had like 4 first downs. The whole defensive line just has shut down the teams, all the games that I've been to this year.
Well, I mean, they're a great team unit. You know, they all work well together. You got the big hosses. You know, you got Steele and Linero, great defensive players. You know, Warren stepped up, you know, playing linebacker, which I didn't see coming. And that kid's been laying some big wood. So, you know, Emiliano's been laying some hits. And you got Kevin Pickett, who is, I hear now is an all-scholastic. And he's been great all year. So, I mean, you got some great players.
And Adam, you seem like you were thinking a lot. What's your pick?
Well, I'd definitely say, I mean, you really can't pick one person, but I'd have to say it'd probably be the D-line. I mean, they've been the focal point of the defense all year long, and stopping the run, getting pressure on the quarterback. I mean, you control the line, you control the game.
Last take your pick, unsung hero, someone who we didn't expect to have as great a season as they did.
Probably little KK stepping in when he needs to and really giving those running backs a spell, you know, when Teddy needs a breather, you know, coming in and just maybe breaking off a big 20-yard run or something like that.
Well, this one's an easy one. It's Ted Mavrides.
You can't pick the same person for the MVP.
Yeah, but you got it. He's the unsung hero because coming into the season, no one expected him to, you know, be the 3rd leading scorer in all of Division II. All right. I call that stepping up. So.
Okay. Adam?
I'd say the unsung hero would be probably Paul Linero. I mean, you don't
Of course he picks a lineman.
You don't really hear too much about him, but, I mean, he's always there. He's playing solid games on both sides of the line. I mean, he doesn't get all the press that everyone else gets.
I would agree with Adam. Paul Linero, Steele, the kind of have really made this team. And we got to talk about one thing real quick before we go, is that this team kind of runs like a Patriots-like offense, a lot of running, and then you get the short passes. And someone who's going to have to step up big today is Kevin Pickett.
That's right. I mean, he's been one of the best tight ends since I can remember in our system. You know, just he's got hands. You know, he doesn't drop a lot of passes, and we even saw him throw a touchdown pass last game, which I didn't see coming.
Well, first of all, Pickett's a really big kid, and he's really agile and nimble. Kid can catch the ball, kid can run the ball. You know, he's great for screens. You know, the little, you know, fake belly wide pop over the middle. You know, that's how they work this offense, and he's instrumental.
Adam, same question.
Pickett does more for the offense than you think. I mean, he's obviously a great weapon, but if nothing else, teams focus on him a lot, which opens up a lot more in your offense, and that's truly like one of his better points, is that he's that good, but because he's that good, teams focus on him a lot.
All right, now we're going to go keys to the game. Matt, your one key to the game if the Red Devils going to win.
Just pound the rock. Just run the ball right up the middle, right down their throats. I mean, that's what McGuire's going to tell them in the locker room, and that's what they need to do to win.
Scott?
I will say score early, score often, because they got to put up a lot of points and hold off this powerful team.
That's a brilliant key to the game, score. All right, Adam.
You got to protect Walshy. You protect him, he'll pick apart the defense all day.
All right.
I mean, you can't let anyone touch him.
Final scores, Matt.
I say 21-10 Burlington.
Well, obviously I'm going with Burlington. I'd say 28-14 Burlington.
28-14.
35-14 Burlington.
35. Bert's going with the big one. He's hoping Linero will really have a big day for him. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you at the half, and hopefully we'll be talking about good things at the half. But right now it's time for the game. Dan Brothers and Paul Strati will be upstairs in the booth to bring you the action. Coming up on 10 minutes until Super Bowl Saturday. Enjoy the game. We'll see you at the half here on BCAT.
intercepted. Goodbye, he's going in. I'll tell you, great play, great. Has some blockers again, nice duck right through.
But he gets wrecked right around midfield.
Kick. Pierce with it, he's at the 50. Pierce needs a block going down the 40. 45, 30. Pierce has got some room. Pierce could go all the way. 10,
There we go.
5, touchdown! Kyle Pierce down the line.
Number 6, Ryan McKeon. Number 60, John Collins. Number 61, Chris Smith. Number 63, John Stout. Number 7, Jordan Kayanda. Number 70, Gerald Dukes. Number 72, Chris Red. Number 73, Lorenzo Di Tommaso. Number 79, John Quinn. Number 8, Drew Conley. Number 9, Ryan Wilson. And number 99, Brendan Baloo. Ladies and gentlemen, today's contestants earned their place here as a result of a long, challenging.
Good afternoon and welcome to Leary Field on the campus of Acton-Boxboro High School, Burlington Cable Access Television. Once again, the home of Super Bowl Division II in Eastern Massachusetts. I'm Dan Brothers. He's Paul Strati. I know, Strati, you left the palatial estate on Wilmington Road in Burlington early this morning. You got to get here early to get a seat in this one. This looks to be one of the marquee matchups in the state today.
I'd say so, Danny. Both teams come in here. Burlington comes in undefeated, 12-0, the facing a tough Foxboro team, 9-2, and the preliminary, they're really similar, Danny, in stats when you look at it. Burlington has scored 35 points a game, Foxboro 26. Burlington has given up 11 points a game, Foxboro 9. So pretty evenly matched, both teams.
Of course, one of the things that I found in my pregame investigation, so to speak, about the blue and gold is the fact that they sat there. This is their third undefeated team they're playing in a row, having knocked off Mansfield on Thanksgiving and Bishop Stang in the preliminary round this past Tuesday.
Yeah, but this is also their fourth time to the Super Bowl. They haven't won yet, Danny. So they're 0-3 right now. This is their fourth trip in here, so they're hungry coming in here also.
This might be the Buffalo Bills, and we may refer to Jack Martinelli as Marv Levy. Flipping to the other side, the team in white and red. Certainly, Paul, the other night, in our 11 years and my 16 overall, and we've been watching football in Burlington for a long time, we have sat there and seen a lot of performances, but I don't think anything was more impressive than the last 37 minutes of Tuesday night.
Well, we were up here the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game were scary. They started off.
You can keep going. He'll tell you when.
Yeah, he's going to do the national anthem right now.
From Leary.
Played by the Foxboro Warriors marching band under the direction.
I guess that's the Foxboro band will play our national anthem. Because that's the benefit of being the home team. Paul, as we were saying, certainly one of the most dominating performances in Burlington football history. Certainly was definitely one that we can look back to with just great pride.
Yeah, I mean, Burlington came out, Danny. They had the jitters the first couple minutes of the game, and it was obvious. You know, they got in the end zone. The ball went through the Caucasian's legs. They came out, they got a safety, and then a quick touchdown. They were down 9-0 before we could even blink an eye. Then Burlington football showed up, ran off 45 straight points, Danny, and probably one of the most impressive display of football we've seen in a long time, considering Natick was 26-0 coming into the game and defending Super Bowl champs to handle them like that.
Yeah, and certainly, Paul, one of the things that we saw the other night was the leadership of the seniors. I mean, the offensive line did a great job.
Yeah, the seniors have really carried the team this year. Against the Woburn game, the seniors stepped up and...
What?
Against the Natick, again, against an undefeated team, they came up. Great display by the seniors, and again, great character the other night.
Yeah, 27
they couldn't
left
panic,
on
but
Haywood.
they didn't panic. They settled down and they played Burlington football and ran on 45 straight points. I expect the seniors today to carry this team again today, Danny.
Of course, one senior we're going to be in trouble with, Paul, is Michael Roach.
And we apologize for that. Again, we thought it was Harrington, but again, it was Mike Roach that caught that touchdown pass on a great play from, again, that was the tight end option went out there. Pickett went out there. We thought it was Harrington, but it was actually Michael Roach, and we apologize for that. And looking at it today, Michael Roach could actually be the secret weapon out here today for Burlington.
One thing you're going to see out of these two teams, Paul, is a very well-balanced attack. They both mix the run and the pass equally well, and there's some big weapons on both sides of the ball. I think with Burlington, we can't overlook the performance of Tim Marmonides, as Michael Gamley wanted me to point out today. You know, Marmonides is the type of kid, he's about 65 yards away from breaking Redfern's record for a single season rush. He was immense the other night.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's what Burlington has to do to come out here. They need to establish the running game, get that set up, and then the passing game will come again. But the running game is going to be important here for the Burlington Red Devils to establish that early against a tough Foxboro team.
One thing Burlington has done in the past, they deferred the opening kickoff. They're going to be able to have their choice in the second half. Foxboro in the blue and gold uniforms, white trim, will defend the goal to our left. I believe we call that the south end zone. The north end zone will be defended by Burlington. There is a stiff wind today, Paul.
And that's going to be a factor here.
That seems to be blowing from our left to our right as you see it on your broadcasting station today. So
yeah, it's been gusting at times, so again, that could play a major factor in this game as we get into it.
Well, they've talked a lot about it, Paul. You know what? It's been a game that a lot of people have watched. The champion of the South Shore in Foxboro, the champion up north from Burlington. Certainly two teams that have had terrific season and are coming to this game at the right time.
Yeah, again, in Foxboro coming off beating a couple undefeated teams to get into this game. So again, they come in with a high-powered team here. Burlington's going to receive first. They're going to receive the ball first. So again, this opening drive, Danny, get the jitters out and settle down and play Burlington football.
Number 24, Ali Mortada. Definitely one of those Colombian rejects from the soccer team kicking off, and he's got a hell of a foot, I think.
I'll tell you, Danny, I was watching him warming up. He was putting them in at ease from the 35-yard line.
Was he going with the wind or without the wind? That's the big question here.
So here we go.
Murtada will put his foot in the ball. It goes end over end to Caucasian. He'll take it about the 5. He's at the 10, 15, 20, 25. He gets tripped up and out over the 26-yard line, where the Devils will go on offense first down and 10. That, of course, means senior quarterback Dan Walsh, along with Marmonides and Buckley in the backfield. The wide receivers should be actually going to start in their house formation, which means Ricky Sorensen, Nathan, Kyle Pierce, that's another one, Ryan Harrington, and with Marmonides as a single setback. Of course, the offensive line we'll get to in a second on 1st and 10. It's a pump draw inside Marmonides with some rooms. Okay, and he gets out over the 29-yard line, gain of 3, 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, again, Foxboro reacting very well to that play on the draw play. A little slow development, but he picks up about 3 yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 7.
Buckley's now back in more traditional split backfield for the Devil. Buckley was immense the other night. Right side, Marmonitis. Down the bottom is number 5. That's Kevin McCarthy, one of their starting linebackers as well as their starting running back making the spot. He got through the hole pretty quick.
Yeah, he did. He really busted through there pretty quick and actually going to throw him for about a yard. Lost about a yard on that play. So we're going to end up, actually he lost more than that. It's going to be almost 3rd and 10 now.
Well, that's definitely wrong, Paul. Look at the sticks over there. The guy needs to wake up upstairs. It's about 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. Now, there we go. Now it's 6. He said 5. Leary Field is just buzzing with all this fun stuff. Here's a rollout. A pass. Oh! Marmonitis, you saw that play the other night run with a lot of success, and it falls incomplete on 4th down. Burlington will have to make a decision whether to go for it or to punt.
No, they're on the 29-yard line, Danny. Field position now. You got to start jockeying for field position, but it was too bad. Teddy was open on that play. He had it. I think he was looking upfield before he caught the ball. He was looking to see who was in front of him.
The other thing, that was a lofted pass by Walsh over the linebacker. The wind is blowing. You know, as he turned away, it may have come up a little bit shorter than he thought he was going to get. So Walsh is now in punt formation. He'll let it go at about his 18-yard line. The snapper is Marmonides. Back deep for Foxboro, a big guy and a little guy.
Tough wind here right now. He's kicking into a strong wind.
Here's a snap, nicely handled Walsh. Nice kick.
Nice kick.
Line drive with a roll. It's going to roll down to about the 40-yard line where the Warriors of Foxboro got offense 1st down and 10. Burlington defense, Paul, you know, the other night really turned it on. I think Natick had 5 first downs after their first drive. An impressive job. And they're going to have to do the job tonight against a good offensive team from Foxboro.
And the 2 big guys, Steele and Lanero, they're leading the charge for that defensive line last Tuesday night against Natick. So again, gonna expect the same thing out of this group right now.
Well, Conley's the quarterback, number 8. We didn't talk a lot about him, but I'm sure we will. Deep handoff, nothing. McCarthy on the dive, got nowhere. Right in the backfield, number 74, Lanero, also number 17, Alex Miliano, up from his strong safety position to make the tackle.
Yeah, Conley comes into this game with 13 touchdown passes, and his favorite receiver is Matt Goody with 1,000 yards. So, again, a pretty good combination.
One thing you talked about, May mentioned, him and Walsh, very, very similar in numbers, stature, both big kids, both with good arms, both run their offense very, very well.
Exactly. 2nd
down, we're going to call it 9, he got 1. Now the backs are split with some room to the left. Pitch out left side, McCarthy gets a block. It's into the secondary, and he's knocked down as he gets over the 45 to about the 47. We'll be about 3 yards shy of the 1st down. Mike Roach and Teddy Marmonides on the stop.
So again, good pursuit that time by the defensive line to their right, again, down the line. Picked up about 6 yards on the play, so it's looking at, I believe it's going to be about 3rd and 3 here for the Warriors.
Up on the big board, it's about 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, whatever you like on your dial. It's right down here in front of us. Paul and I stationed directly on the 50-yard line. Splits us here on 3rd down and 3 again. Offset formation. Conley now on the keeper. He's going to dive forward. He'll have a 1st down in the Burlington territory. Misdirected play, had a trouble handling the snap, but nonetheless had enough for the 1st down.
Exactly. The defense actually had sniffed that play out, but again, a nice play by Conley. Athletic move, broke off, broken play, picked up the 1st down, and that's something Burlington's going to have to look at, Danny.
Well, that's good to hear. 1st down and 10. She has come for a visit, first of the day. Catherine, we have a timeout somewhere. Let's see.
Referee called timeout here. Okay,
Catherine has made it here today along with our great crew. I did ask Corey McNeil, our director, for a list so we could get all the people, but nonetheless, we haven't got that yet. 1st and 10, deep handoff, McCarthy. Kevin Pickett, baby. A man who was just born to play football, his parents told me the other night. Drops him for a 3-yard loss.
He horse-collared him that time and brought him down. Again, a great play by Pickett, just strung it out along that line. And again, nice play by Pickett.
So it's 2nd down and 3rd, make it 12. The loss is back to just over the Burlington side of the midfield stripe.
Surprised we haven't seen him pass yet, Danny, with that wind to his back.
Exactly, Paul. This is something that the one thing about having the ball 1st quarter with the wind is that you need to sit there and utilize it. The straight back to pass. Throwing over the middle is complete. To Matt Good, the guy you talked about there. He's going to have a pick up about 9 in the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 2. James Buckley on the stop for the Devils.
Again, he was wide open that time, just kind of rolled out to his right, waited for this receiver to clear. and hit Goody with a pass, but he's going to be about a yard. So he's going to be about a yard short.
Coach Jack Martinelli sends the play in. I'm sure they're close to two-down territory.
I would say so.
It's a power set formation. Left side, it's McCarthy. He has some room, and he's brought down over the far side of the field. Teddy Marmonides there, but it's enough for a first down to the 35-yard line.
So again, big hole on that left side for Foxboro that time. Opened it up, and he picked up some good yards. Picked up about 6 yards on that carry, enough for the first down.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
1st and 10, Foxboro High School.
They'll come out now again. Now it's a split backfield. The second back is Tim Mogan at number 34, in motion to the right. Pitch out right goes McCarthy. Not a lot of room. He gets around the corner, and he's bumped out of bounds. Looked like the Red Devils had pretty good pursuit, but somehow McCarthy find a way to get down to the sideline and pick up a close to a first down. It'll be about an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, you called that right, Danny. I thought they had that play sealed off there. There was 3 or 4 defenders coming down that line, but McCarthy with a little burst of speed that time was able to get back by that line of defenders and picked up the first down. So Foxboro on a roll right now, an impressive first drive.
I guess it's not to fear. This is the way Burlington started out the other night. Same type of deal. Natick had their opportunities, and it was from there. Here's McCarthy, right side, steps in the hole. And James Buckley, an unsung hero the other night for the Devils. Interception, fumble recovery, as well as a great job blocking up front.
Yeah, and I think the key, Danny, like you said, he was that lead blocker for Teddy all night. He was opening up some holes, and tremendous ball player, along with the interception. So, again, a key player out there for Burlington. And he picks up 2 yards on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 8. They're down at the 23-yard line, so they're moving.
Well, the place is packed, Paul. They're filing in. The hill's starting to fill up. And as much as this may not be your 8th prototypical place for a game, you know what, Paul? It's got character and charisma. Here's a counter now. Mogan, the fullback, driving down. He'll be inside of the 5, where it'll be first down and goal.
Counter play that time worked to perfection, and Burlington again missed a couple of tackles on the play. They had him, broke away, and he ended up picking up some big yardage, and they're going to have 1st and goal.
So it's first down and goal from just outside the 5. Let's call it the 6.
The ball's on the 6-yard line, 1st and goal.
In motion now goes Wilson. Pitch out to the right. It's McCarthy. Nicely job, stringing it out. A host of Red Devils. Marmonides is there. But the guy who made that play, Paul, may have been Kyle Pierce, the left cornerback who strung it out so his friends could get over there and help him along.
Exactly. Again, that whole defensive line just shifting down, coming down. A nice pursuit that time. And actually threw him for a yard loss. So it's going to be 2nd and goal from the... actually lost 2 yards on the play, so it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 8.
Of course, you did mention the name of Ali Mortada. He is the field goal kicker with a strong leg. We're certainly within his range here. 2nd down and goal. We're going to call it the 8. Backs are split now. In motion goes number 42, Moorshed. Pitch out to the left side. It's Mogan on the run. Touchdown.
I tell you, you can see that coming, Danny. They've had great success running to their left so far of what we've seen. Morgan went in undefeated, untouched that time. Nobody touched him. He went in, got one block, the block that he needed.
We were hearing Coach McCauley up here in the box saying, call timeout, call timeout. He must have seen something in the formation that had been there. But nonetheless, it's a situation, Paul, that's Burlington been in before all during the course of this season, especially their run down the stretch. Kick is up, and it is good. So Mortada's extra point has added to the lead, and the Foxboro Warriors draw first blood here at Leary Field and lead by a score of 7-0.
So an impressive first drive here for Foxboro. Started at their 40-yard line, drove the length of the field, primarily with the running game. Had a couple passes, but primarily with the running game. To their left, had great success against this Burlington defense, and they draw first blood here. So the Devils, again, have to get back, play Burlington football, come out here and just reestablish their running game. It's early in the game, still in the first quarter, Danny. So again, but again, you want to start building that momentum up now. Start to come back and start playing Burlington football.
Well, certainly this is a mirror of the other night. You know, 3:34 here on the clock. Foxborough up 7-0. Burlington won one series of 3 and out, and Foxborough taking the ball and driving down. So, you know, it's a situation Burlington's been before, and they've responded very, very well.
There's the kick.
Mortorta squibs it. There's a little break. Pierce picks it up at the 3. In trouble. And back to the 5-yard line. Mistake made, Paul, was the up guys when that ball popped in the air should have grabbed it.
Buckley had a shot at it that time, and he let it kind of go over his head. He should have fielded that, because once it got by him, it took a squib on the grass here on the artificial surface. Cut by Pierce, and Burlington's going to start deep in their own territory. 1st and 10 on the 6-yard line.
Well, we've seen this before, Paul. You know, not a position that they're afraid of. Yeah. That's for sure. So on 1st down and 10, Walsh has them out over center, waiting for the call from Coach McGuire.
The other thing, Danny, is the caliber of players is getting better and better as you go along. So
Marmonitis and Caucasian in the backfield. Marmonitis now right side. Has some room. He rolls out to about the 10-yard line. Looks to gain about 4 in the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Tackle made by the Foxborough linebacker, Brian Woolard, 6'5", 290. He's a big one.
Yeah, Foxborough's has some size up on that defensive line for sure. So he picked up 3 yards on the play. Michael Caucasian that time with the run that time. Had some room, but again, a nice defensive play by Foxborough comes up.
Haywood brings it right to the back of the school.
They get the ball out to the 11-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd and 5 for the Red Devils.
Sorry about that, Paul. Just checking on the family members who I was so pleased with earlier. 3rd and 5 now. Walsh has him over center. Here comes the blitz. Draw. Caucasian. Chopped down by number 42, Ryan Moorshed. And Burlington will be in a position where now timeout called quickly.
Michael's hurt on the play. He's not
he got chopped down pretty good.
So right now, Foxborough doing a good job of the scouting report on Burlington. They're doing a pretty good job. Burlington going to their tendencies off right tackle, and they've been there to defend it.
Certainly so, and they're tending to Michael Caucasian.
But in any event, it's going to be 4th and about 5 from the 11-yard line. So Burlington, again, going to be, actually, it's 4th and about 2 yards. So it's 4th and 2 from the 14. Burlington in a punt formation again, and Foxborough's going to get decent field position, Danny. Again, they're going to get it at the 40, 45, maybe 50.
Well, they may be in Burlington territory here with the way the wind's blowing and what have you. Now, the one thing that's happened here is Dan Walsh has been very cognizant to kick the low-line drive type of kicks.
And this would be a major blow for Burlington if Michael Caucasian can't go on. He got hit pretty good, Danny, coming through that line.
Yep.
He had some room, and then all of a sudden Foxborough closed quickly.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that's happened here, and it hasn't happened a whole lot, is that during the course of this year, you know, there hasn't been a lot of that initial push with the offensive line, maybe say for the Woburn game. So this is something that the Red Devils are facing, you know, a big line, a line that has some push, something that they haven't faced yet. Now, they've done very well at making the necessary adjustments during the course of play during those times there. So
exactly.
Caucasian being held up the field. It looks to be a left leg injury.
Left leg, yeah, definitely. He's dragging. He's holding his left leg.
And he's had some issues there. You know, earlier this season, he was, you know, working on a tweak, a strain, or a sprain, or what have you. So the good part is that they were able to get him off the field, and we'll have to see if we can get Andy Spinali to get us an update from down the sideline. You know, Andy now is getting a little bit big for his britches, I think, Paul. If you look down on the left to about the 5-yard line, there's Andy and his posse. Okay, you know, he's the kind of the smaller guy amongst the crew, and those 4 big guys around him.
The security?
I guess they're known as Andy's posse. You know, they all have these flapping MIA press badges and what have you. So on 4th down, Walsh will be on to punt. into that win. Back deep for Foxboro's number 4, Joe Nixon, as well as number, can't see it from here. Like that one?
Good snap.
Nice snap. Walsh has it.
Nice
Walsh
kick.
gets a nice punt.
Kick. Beautiful kick.
Nice punt. Oh, back to number 1, Matt Good. Good.
Got containment.
Right side, and he'll be pushed out of bounds at the 46-yard line. A great punt by Walsh. It went from the 14 to the 40. My quick math says that's 36-10, a 46-yard punt in this wind. A very, very good job by Dan Walsh.
Yeah, again, nice spiral on that kick. Drove Good back. He picked up about 2 or 3 yards on the return. But Foxboro's going to have decent field position. They're going to start at about the 40, where are they? About the 47-yard line. 1st and 10 here in a 7-0 lead with 2 minutes left in the quarter.
So it's 1st and 10 now. In motion goes Wilson. Handoff, McCarthy. McCarthy met right at the 50-yard line. Looks to be number 10, Ryan Harrington, making the stop.
Dan Harrington coming in from his corner spot, came in, made a nice tackle that time. And again, so far they've been doing a pretty good job, Danny, against this run so far.
So it's a gain of about 2 on the play to be 2nd down and 8. Foxborough led at this offensive line by Brian Kelly, the 215-pound senior. He's at the center spot. Of course, the Burlington line we'll get to in just a moment. Play action, straight back, throwing.
Right there in the flat.
It's complete to number 42. That's Moorshed, the tight end, and he'll have a 1st down at the Burlington 35-yard line.
There had to be a breakage in coverage on that time, Danny. Nobody absolutely near him out there in the flat. There wasn't a red devil between 5 or 6 yards of him out in the flat, so there had to be some type of breakdown in coverage. Wide open, picks up a big 1st down for the Warriors as they're down to the 33-yard line.
So it's 1st down and 10 for the Warriors at the 33. Burlington a little bit confused, by the offense. In motion now goes Moorshed. Pitch out left side, Mogan. Mogan's done most of the damage here so far, and he'll scoot out of bounds at about the 30-yard line, gaining 3 to be 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, Alex Milano missed the tackle on that play coming around the side to allow him to pick up a couple extra yards. So Burlington really needs to start tightening up, Danny, doing a little better job on their tackling right now. They're missing that initial tackle out there, allowing Foxborough to pick up 2, 3, 4 extra yards that they shouldn't be getting.
Laniero, Steele, Pickett, Warren, and Lundgren the line. And the linebackers are Buckley and Marmonitis. Of course, it's Miliano, Roach, Harrington, and Pierce in the secondary. Here's an inside counter play. Mogan runs right into 77. That's the big guy. Paul Laniero. Yeah, he'll gain about 2, would be 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, Lanero's there. Big stop that time. Ran right into the Lanero, put the stop on him. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 5, and an interesting call here for Foxborough. As we got a timeout. Foxborough is taking the timeout, and actually probably a good call here, Danny. They still have the wind behind their back here. They're going to have a 3rd and 5, almost 3rd and 6.
Obviously, very, very likely passing down. You could get a long count out of Foxborough. They've been going on the quick count so far. You might see something because they are within range of a 1st down, Paul, on a violation. So Devils in a 5-3, back to pass, rolling out, in trouble, throws, and it's complete to Good, who's inbounds, and he'll have himself a 1st, actually, I don't know, Paul, is it? Yeah, it is, okay.
Yeah, he's on the 20-yard line.
I was looking at the guy on the near side, so it should be a 1st down, and the timeout, of course, was called for that reason, so they can run the one more play while the wind is at their back.
So Connolly's shown a pretty good arm here so far, rolling out to his right.
Foxborough calls time again. They're running this like a 2-minute drill, Paul.
Yeah.
It's a 2-minute drill to have with the wind at your back, so.
Yeah, and they definitely want to take it. And the wind is a major factor here today. It's gusting at times, so it isn't as bad right now, but it has been gusting at times. So a big call here. They're on the 20-yard line. 1st and 10, 34 seconds left in the quarter. They've just taken their 2nd time out in a row here to utilize the wind to their back.
So at 34.2 seconds, Foxboro on top. The other thing, Paul, they're going to do here is if they didn't get a first down there, they want to be able to kick the field goal, you know, with the wind at their back versus sitting there and bringing it up into the wind.
And this kid, Ali Mortada.
We're going to try it again. Mortada.
He had an impressive
We're going to have, you know, foreign names for idiots, for dummies are going to be delivered. Mortada. Okay. This is a good name from the past. Jeez.
So,
first and 10.
First and 10 here.
I guarantee you the people in Foxboro aren't having as much fun as we are. Pitch out left side, Mogan. Mogan, nothing. Kevin Pickett there, Lanier, Steele there, along with Mike Roach, number 36. We're not going to forget that one again.
So again, Pickett, good pursuit down the line, playing the end position, held his position well, just rode his man down. It's going to be fourth.
Mike Roach.
No, it's going to be second down. I'm sorry. It's going to be second down and about 8 yards from the 18.
They're going to let this clock run down. That'll bring us to the end of the first quarter of play. 1 quarter in the books from Leary Field. Not the way it ended the first night here for Burlington, but nonetheless, it's 7-0 Foxboro, and now the whole field shifts. The game shifts. Everything that has hopefully been momentum on the side of Foxboro will change here in the second quarter. And Foxboro has done everything we thought they'd do coming in, Paul. Good power team, mixing the pass at the opportune moments.
Yeah, and they've done a good job scouting Burlington and studying the film, Danny, because they've gone to Burlington's tendency. So right now, they've gone to Burlington. Burlington's been, and let's go down to Andy first.
Take it away, Andy.
All right, thank you guys. A little friendly rivalry going on right now between Foxboro and the Burlington High administrations. Should Foxboro win, Principal Linda Hayes will have to wear a Foxboro sweatshirt on Monday. So unless this defense steps up and the offense as well, it looks like she might be wearing blue on Monday. Back upstairs to you.
All right, back upstairs. Thank you very much, Andy. Traveling with the posse today. First down, second and 7 at the 18 now. Here's a deep handoff. Mogan, nothing. A run blitz by the Devil. Stopped him. Actually may have lost a yard back to the 19, where it will be 3rd down and 9.
Again, the whole defensive line that time for Burlington. Kane on that blitz coming in here on the run. He's going to lose a yard, and the play is going to ring out 3rd and 9. So again, and again, this is 4-down territory here, Danny, for Fox.
Well, maybe not with the foot of Mortada.
No,
it gives them a different weapon.
So they're saying no gain on the play, so it's going to be 3rd and 7.
That's a very favorable spot. So wide to the left comes Good. He's the top receiver. In motion now comes Wilson. I formation. Play action. Back to pass. Throwing down the corner, and he has it for a touchdown.
Touchdown.
Ryan Wilson. As the Devils came in the blitz, and Conley just got that ball out of his hands as he was hit.
Lamiro was just coming around to put a lick on him, and just as he was hitting him, he got the ball away and he scored. So Foxboro up 14-0 quickly here in this game, and Burlington's got to turn it around now, Danny.
So Mortada now will come on. Or will they? Yes, Mortada will be the kicker. Eric DeMoro will be the holder. And at the 9:06 mark, it will be the point after touchdown here. Here's the snap, ball's down, kick is up, it looks good. Way high and above the goalpost, and it's good. So teams come back upfield. 9:06 left here in the first half of play. Foxboro on top by a score of 14-0.
So an impressive pass that time by Connolly. Again, had time, was just about to get hit by Lanero coming around, and Burlington had decent coverage on that play there too, Danny. I couldn't see who the defensive back was. It might have been, it looked like maybe Roach down in the corner there. I'm not sure, but he had great coverage on the receiver. Just a well-executed play by Foxboro from Connolly to Wilson. And they go up 14-0. But now Burlington's going to have, Burlington again has made a couple mistakes here in this game. They need to come back. They have the win to their back now. Now it's time that they got to start stepping up here.
So back deep will be Marmonitis now with the injury to Caucasian. So I would say his return is probably doubtful at this point in time. We'll see if we can find him over there on the sideline. And back deep will be Marmonides as well as Kyle Pierce. And Kyle Pierce, of course, the one who turned this season around during the course of. So he'll squib it again. He picked up there. Was that Buckley?
Buckley.
Yeah, let's say he can run 2 out to the 40-yard line. Paul, I'll tell you what. You know what? You got a 14-0 lead. I have no idea why you'd want to squib the ball, Paul, and give a team like Burlington offensively the field position they do at the 41.
Well, I think they had great respect for Pierce. They've scouted Pierce, and they know that he has the capability of returning at any time. So I think they were a little leery of that, Danny. They didn't want to get. They were afraid of maybe Pierce, but again, like you said, gave him great field position. Best of the game so far.
Walsh now straight back to pass. Looking, throwing it down to Harrington.
He's got it, Harrington.
He's down the sideline. 20, 10. He is out of bounds. No, he's out of bounds, Paul, at the 11-yard line. He's out of bounds at the 11. What a great job by Walsh. He had time. He waited for the routes to run, and he hit Ryan Harrington in stride down to the 11.
We didn't see him step out.
I did, though.
He stepped out for Burlington, because if not, he had the touchdown. He had some wheels, and he was moving, but went out at the 11-yard line. So again, a great pass from Walsh that time. Wait for his man to break open, and Harrington had a couple of yards on his defender.
I was watching him develop, and I just saw him slip open. Marmonitis now, left side, in the hole, and maybe to the 10. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
The key to that play, though, was the time that Walsh had to throw. Walsh had all day back there, and he was just waiting for the receiver to break free. Finally broke free, and he was able to hit him with the pass. But I'll tell you, Danny, Foxboro is really defending Marmonitis tough here today so far.
McGuire has his center. They have 4 receivers in the game. Ricky Sorensen, number 18. We quickly have a timeout taken by Foxboro. So the late change by Burlington's caused some confusion in Foxboro. And I'll tell you, Paul, what's going to happen here is going to be a very, very interesting decision for Coach McGuire when he wants the win in the second half. And we can see already the difference in Burlington and Foxboro in the 2 quarters.
Yeah, exactly. That win the big difference here. Major factor in this game. And again, it's going to be a major factor coming into that 4th quarter. But now Burlington needs to take advantage, as Foxboro did. Foxboro put up 14 points with the win. Burlington needs to do the same thing here to stay in this game. But again, getting back to that play on the sideline, he just got bumped out. His right foot I wasn't sure it was on the line, and he got bumped out. If not, he was gone, Dan. He had a good couple feet on his defender. But now it's going to be tough. I mean, they're playing Teddy tough on this run here, so they've taken Buckley out, which almost indicates it's going to be a pass play.
1st down, 2nd down, we're going to call it 9. 3 receivers to the right, Harrington left, back to pass, looking, throwing, it's incomplete. You know, Harrington slipped on the turf right before that play as he cut in there. And it was a timing pattern as he ran a quick post.
And it's too bad, Danny, because he hit him with the pass. He would have went in. He had the angle on the defender, and he would have went in for the score.
So it's 3rd down and 9. The Devils can get a 1st down at about the 2-yard line, I think it is over there, Paul, if you can see the marker. Okay, they can get that. They can score a touchdown. I would say that they could be in 2-down territory. Walsh has him now. Single set back is Teddy. Straight back to pass. Looking. All the time. Throws. Oh, it's incomplete. Walsh was waiting for Pickett, who made a diving attempt in the end zone. And it's going to be 4th down, decision time for the Red Devils. Yeah, I don't see Matt Valley coming out. You see a bunch of skilled guys here. Now here comes Valley now, so maybe coach is thinking, let's put the points up on the board, or possibly we can end up with a fake. Valley's gonna put the ball down at the 17. It's gonna be a 27-yard attempt out of the hold of Marmonides. Here's a snap. It's down. Kick is up. It looks good, and it is. So I think a conservative yet a good move, Paul, on behalf of the Devils. Still 8:04 left here in the second half. Foxborough hasn't had to deal. Well, they had to deal one play with the win. They threw a touchdown pass.
But that's all right.
But there's points on the board that really takes the zero off the scoreboard, maybe takes some of the heat off.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of gets Burlington, like you said, Dan, it gets Burlington on the board. They get 3 points up. And now the defense really needs to come on here for the Red Devils.
Well, that was a minute. Paul, that was a minute and 2 seconds, okay, that drive there. So, and again, you know, I question immediately why Foxborough wouldn't kick the ball deep. You know, as much as I respect, you know, Nathan, Kyle Pierce as well, you just don't want to do that to your defense. You know, I mean, that to me is...
But again, I think it's just great respect for Kyle Pierce back there. They've seen what he can do. Returned a couple of kickoffs so far this year, a punt return. But again, like you said, Danny, they gave Burlington great field position at the 40.
Well, you get Good, Nixon, and Mogan now back to return the kick. And Good, of course, the receiver. Nixon, number 4 in the middle, and Mogan, the guy who I think, if you look at Foxborough so far, the guy who's really given Burlington the hardest time. I mean, a small and shifty blocking back. Kind of sounds like a number 23 in this town was last year, who was certainly giving Burlington a little bit of a battle, you know, thus far.
So again, referee having trouble keeping the ball on the tee here.
Walsh will kick it off this unconventional tee. Here he goes.
Scribble again.
There he goes. Oh, yeah. Guess what, Paulie? There he goes. Now, again, this is something that Burlington has used as an effective weapon. And finally, Good fell onto the 5-yard line with the wind in your face. Again, the field has something to do with this, Paul.
Exactly.
And now Burlington has got Foxborough pinned back on their 6-yard line.
Right, and that's exactly what Burlington was looking for. Some type of break like that. Foxborough had gotten it on their kickoff before when Caucasian took it deep in his own zone. This time here, the squib kick by Walsh got by the first line, got by the second line, and actually almost got by the third man. He just jumped on it at the 7-yard line.
And of course, Paul, the other thing that you want to sit there and talk about is that, you know, again, the up guy had the opportunity to try to grab it and didn't, and that's something that's a problem. There's Mogan. Yeah, guess what? Devil defense fired up. Mogan gets nothing. 66, Brian Warren. 74, Jeremy Steele, and 23. Marmonitas make the stop on a gain of about maybe 6 inches. We'll call it 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, exactly. Not much in that play. And again, big stand here for the defense for Burlington, because if they can hold Foxborough here, they'll get decent field position back here again with the wind to their back.
2nd down, we're going to call it 10. Clock is spinning here in the second quarter. 7.5 minutes left. Foxborough on top, 14-3. Backs are now split. McCarthy and Mogan wide left with the motion man. Wilson to the left. Good inside handoff. McCarthy. Yeah, guess what? Not that time. Gain of about 2. Warren's getting off the pile again. Steele's there. Lanero. Bill Lundgren, 45, also getting up. So the Devil line starting to flex his muscles down deep. 3rd down and 8.
Exactly, and that's where Foxborough has had some pretty good success off to their right, running to their right. So far in this game, they've had pretty good success. Burlington coming up big that time on defense.
So it's 3rd down and 8 with the wind in your face. So we'll see what Coach Martinelli has. Martinelli, a crafty veteran. I believe it's his 26th season at Foxborough, if I was reading correctly. Now they're in a wide formation. Roll out to the left. Over the middle, and it's complete to Moorshed. We'll have him. Well, there's a flag now down. We'll have to wait to see what that flag is.
First flag of the game.
May have been a pick play. Let's see what the call is. It's an offensive pass interference, Paul. They ran a pick play across the middle. What happened was Wilson, number 9, came across and picked his man off.
He actually picked Buckley on the play because Buckley had an opportunity to make the tackle and he got picked on the play.
Call on the field is offensive interference.
So that's going to move them back. Is it loss of down? No, I don't think it's loss of down.
I don't.
The ball goes back to the 4 where it's 3rd down and 14.
Yeah, it's not a loss of down. So an interesting call here by Foxborough.
Yep.
Deep in their own territory, up 14-3 here. You know, you would think that you'd want to be a little conservative here, okay? But again, they've had some success so far, Danny, in their passing game.
Third down, we're going to call it 13. Clock is spinning at 6 minutes. Conley straight back to pass. He's in trouble. Over the middle. Throws it up for grabs.
Picked.
And he catches it, and it's going to be a first down.
That ball was up there like a wounded duck that time. Burlington should have been able to pick it or defend it better than that. Again, a great catch by Foxboro. Give him credit, Danny, but play was right in front of us. That there was just thrown up with a lot of air under it. Plenty of time for Burlington to defend it. And comes up with a big first down.
Foxboro High School.
So Burlington's going to have to do a better job in the secondary than they're doing right now, Danny. It's going to be a long game.
Wilson made the grab at the 22-yard line, where it'll be first down for Foxboro. You said that ball hung up there for a long time. They had good pressure on Conley. Inside, Mogan, nothing. Marmonitas got in the backfield.
I mean, that Wilson's
so on first and second down, they're doing a pretty good job.
Right, that third down is killing. Wilson, a big kid at 6'4", 185, and he got position on the defensive back. But again, a lot of air under that ball, Danny. Plenty of time to defend it. And it's too bad because they had Foxboro deep in their own territory. They would have had great field position.
He lost 2 on the play, second down and 12. Devils need to stop here. In motion now goes Moorshed. Pitch out right side, Mogan. Up and over in the pile, and now back to the original line of scrimmage. Ryan Harrington comes up. Bill Lundgren in the backfield made the play, and also there is the guy helping the guy up right there, number 23. And who else? Teddy Marmonitas.
Teddy Marmonitas so far has been playing a great game, both offensively and defensively. Right now, defensively for Burlington has been playing great. Lundgren on that play pushed him back, pushed the receiver back into the traffic that time for the Burlington defense. So again, another big third down play here, Danny, for Burlington. They're going to have about 3rd and 8.
The scoreboard guy's a mess, Paul. 3rd and 8, receivers are heavy on the left side of the field, which is the near side of the field to us. Conley now rolls out to his left.
Too much
looking
time.
for help. Throws it over the middle. It's complete.
Hey, you gonna tell Billy get it.
And now we have a flag down coming in from the back judge. Well,
great hit. Probably out of bounds.
How can it be? We get 3 referees over here. We get this guy who's 30 yards away. Let's see what the call is again. It could be a pick play again, Paul. We'll have to wait and see. No,
I think it's against Burlington. Face mask against Burlington.
It's a 5-yard penalty, Paul, so may have grabbed a little bit of the mask as they were making the tackle.
But I'll tell you, Goody's over here all alone on the sideline. There's nobody near him, Danny.
Yeah.
You need a tighter coverage. So you got to put a play. This guy's had 1,000 yards this year. You know, he's their main guy that they're going to, and they keep going to him time after time after time. Burlington's going to have to start gambling, coming up and defending him. Or put 2 guys on him. Do something.
1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 43.
This formation has killed him right here.
In motion now goes Wilson left to right. Inside handoff. McCarthy tries to go to the right. He's not going to get anywhere now. So the Red Devil run defense is starting to step up to the challenge. Now is the time for the defense to get the ball back from the passing side.
For the most part, the run defense has been there all game for the Red Devils. They've been playing tough on the run, giving up little or nothing. But what's killing them is that 3rd down, the passing situation to Goody. Goody and Wilson have been the answer right now for Foxboro. Burlington doesn't have an answer for that combination.
2nd down.
2nd down, we're going to call it 10. Balls at the, actually make it, yeah, right at the 43-yard line. Right down here in front of us, the entire cable crew is here. They've got to be very close to a delay to wait and see how they come out.
Looking at his watch,
Yeah,
there it is.
Timeout, Foxboro.
Yeah.
So
very slow in development. Going into the huddle took a lot of time, so they're going to take a
they'll take a full timeout and bring half the community over, like teams like to do. 14-3. Place is really looking pretty good, Paul. Place is packed here today. You know, I spoke to one of the Acton-Boxboro people during the thing who was talking about the facility. He said, you know, there was initially the plan, and you can see the around here the cement stanchions to put stands in, but the people don't like the stands. They like to stand on the hill. You know, the hill certainly has become a
tradition, I
kind
guess,
of a cult tradition. You know, let's go hang out in the hill at Acton-Boxboro and watch the ball game. And they've been pretty successful here with their program over the years. So
That they have. They've had a tremendous program here at Acton-Boxboro. But getting back to this game, Danny, right now, Foxboro, again, has the momentum going in here. They're up 14-3. There's 3 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
This is a big defensive stance here for Burlington. They can get the ball back with the wind to their back and do something with it.
Yeah. So it's 2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Burlington, if they stop me here, call a timeout.
In motion, Wilson. Play action. Marmonitas rolling out to the right. It's a throw, and it's incomplete. That's the first time a Burlington defender has aggressively got after the ball. It was intended for good, and Mike Roach broke it up.
And Mike Roach made a nice play, broke on the ball. He actually broke on the ball and had a better chance than the receiver that time. Goody was out here, Matt Goody. But again, good play by Roach. So I'm going to bring up a 3rd now and long.
From the 43. 3rd.
So big play here. Big play here for Burlington.
Don's here now, Paul. We're all set. Don hasn't been here the whole day for us. So 3rd down and 10. Left side. And,
1 miss. 2 misses.
But he only gets out to the 49. Will be about 5 yards shy of a first down.
Again, Burlington had him for probably a 1 or 2 yard loss on that play. Again, missed tackles allowed him to pick it up and made it close. It's going to be 4th and 4 here.
And Conley's come to the sideline, so my assumption is they're going to end up kicking the ball.
Well, I would think they'd want to pin Burlington. Again, the clock going to be a factor here now for Burlington. Only 1 man deep for Burlington. This is normally where you'd see Pierce and Caucasian. Well, Michael got hurt.
It's a high snap.
Oh. There's the flag.
So what do we have?
We're roughing the kicker here. Pickett came in, thought he had a shot at the kicker. Didn't get the ball. Hit the kicker. Again, a nice acting job, but again, it doesn't matter. It's roughing the kicker. It's going to
running into Paul. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. It'll be enough.
Automatic first down.
It'll be enough for a first down, I believe.
It's automatic first down.
What is this?
So again, a tough break here for Burlington. A little aggressive that time. Pickett coming in, had an excellent shot at it.
5-yard penalty, so
automatic first down.
The damage is more the first down versus the penalty.
Because the kick, Burlington would have had decent field. They had the ball about the 25, 27-yard line.
It was a high snap. And Pickett came hard from the outside. Didn't quite have the angle. He was there.
He was there, but
just his angle was off, and that's what had happened there. Single setback now is McCarthy. Inside, he'll dive forward to about the 42-yard line. A gain of about 3. He'll be 2nd down and 7.
Again, McCarthy that time just off right tackle. Nothing fancy for Foxboro. But it's going to bring us down probably to the 2-minute warning here.
3 yards on the play from the 43. 2nd down.
Oh, that's a kick. That's a kick.
Good's pass is interception is very close to a first down.
It's going to depend. I think he's going to be just a little short. An official timeout.
They're going to bring the stakes in for a measurement. And of course, that's a big opportunity today because they had about 12 guys in black and white shirts and black jackets over there working the stakes. Officials assigned by the MIAA, and yard marker guys are actually officials today.
I think he's going to be, it looks from the spot, it looks like he's going to be about a yard short, or just under a yard short.
We'll call you Hawkeye Strati.
But again, a drive here that Burlington had an opportunity to get it back here, Danny.
Well, there's your yard or two shy.
It's right on the line. He got half
Paul,
the ball.
next time look over the glasses, not under them.
So a first down here for Foxboro. They're ready to come out here.
They're up to the line of scrimmage. Defensively, the Red Devils need a play.
Yeah, somebody's got to step up here big for the Devils here. Some type of turnover they're going to need here because
Devils have only won 8 offensive plays, Paul, in the first half.
And they don't have an answer right now for this passing game of Foxboro.
Back to pass, Conley.
There he is, right over the middle.
Throwing. Tip, incomplete. Tip to the line by, I believe, Pickett. Buckley there, Miliano there as well.
And Alex Miliano had a shot there for going the yard on that play. Ball was tipped, almost made the play. And again, that's what Burlington needs. They're going to need some type of big defensive play.
So it's 2nd down and 10.
Ball remains on the 36.
2nd down and 10. Balls at the, I'm going to call it the 36 of the Red Devils. Foxboro on the move, leading 14-3. Conley back to pass. Throwing it down the field over the middle. It is incomplete. A jump ball as Good and Harrington, both guys over 6 feet, going up for that one. And Harrington had the better of that. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Harrington had it in his hands. I thought he had the interception. Coming down, he lost control of the ball and goes for an incompleted pass. Him and Goody both, again, like you said, Danny, both good size. Goody 6'1".
Kevin McCarthy, the leading rusher for the Foxboro Warriors, goes off. His right arm is dangling. That could mean a shoulder injury. We'll have to wait and see how he makes out. 3rd down and 10.
So big play here.
Mogan is a single setback. It could be a draw. Straight back to pass.
Got time.
Looking down the sideline.
Should be. Look at this. Terrible. Terrible.
Stephen Neville came back to the ball and flat out dropped it. So it'll be 4th down.
Burlington dodged a big bullet there because the defensive back stopped on that play.
Didn't see the ball.
They didn't see the ball. He came back for it and he dropped it. There was nobody near him.
So on 4th down.
So Burlington catches a major break there.
I think if Foxboro, they think about punting it. And they're going to keep Conley in the game and go for the 1st down.
So I believe.
So it's 4th down and 10, and Coach Martinelli is going to send the offense to remain them on the field.
I'll tell you what, Danny, they've had great success with their passing game so far. Burlington hasn't had the answer to stopping them.
Moorshed to the right. Wide left is Good. Single setback is Mogan. Neville in motion to the right. Back to pass. Conley throws, and it's caught. Or is it?
Not enough. It's caught.
It's caught inbounds. He'll be shy of the 4th down, depending on the mark. Well, let's see who the mark's going to be. Great job by Roach that time. He closed quick. Well, let's see.
Yeah, he's way.
I think you got to sit there and bring him out. And he'll sit there and they'll bring him out, so
they're going to take over on down. So a good defensive play. Mike Roach coming up making a great play, and that's what they need to do as defensive backs. They got to be a little more aggressive out there, Danny. Stop putting the hurt on some of these guys out there. Right now, these guys are taking liberties out there. They're setting up there, and Conley's doing a nice job getting the ball to him.
So it's 1st and 10. Burlington has 3 timeouts, at least, maybe 4. So and the ball's at their own 27-yard line. They've done this before. Walsh under center. Back to pass. Looking. He's got a step. And it's incomplete. May have been some contact as Good is trying to cover Harrington. And right now the difference is they're just not making the plays.
Well, that's it, Danny. The games before against Natick and Woburn, they were making those plays. This time right off of Harrington's, he had a half a step on the defensive back that time. Ball perfectly thrown by Walsh. What a great throw. Hit Harrington in the hands, but like you said, there could have been some, there was some handwork going down the field. Closes an incompleted pass.
Walsh straight back to pass. Here's a pass to Harrington with a move. Oh, the fumble.
Foxboro recovers with a minute left.
Recovered by McCarthy.
Recovered by the Warriors.
Set up. That was a setup play. Of course, now the Devils defense will have to go and do the job here. The 28-yard line, they turn it over. 1st and 10 for this Foxboro offense.
Yeah, again, Harrington trying to do a little bit too much out there that time. Tried to make the move, getting around the outside. Defensive back came in there, made the play, knocked the ball loose, and Foxboro recovers.
55 seconds, I believe Foxboro has 1 timeout left. Conley back to pass. Screen play, Mogan. Mogan dives forward through the pile.
And I'll tell you, all you see out there is Red Devils on the ground, Danny. He made a great play on that screen play. Lanero with trying to get up there, but couldn't get up there in time.
Clock running at 32. Again, they're all spread out. Morgan's a single setback. Conley back to pass, throwing. And it's complete to the 11-yard line and out of bounds where the clock will stop. That was Moorshed, number 42. He's the second receiver that they mentioned with Foxboro.
Yeah, Ryan Moorhead that time. Again, 6'1", 225, so a good-sized receiver out there.
Conley spikes the ball. Now, he didn't have to do that. The clock had already stopped for the out of bounds. I don't know why he did that.
But in any event, they're in great position. First and 10.
They're doing good things today, so.
Right now, Burlington is having a tough time, Danny. They're not making the plays that they need to play, and they're turning the ball over. That's the second turnover for the Red Devils.
Second down and 10. Ball rests on the 13. They can get a first down at the 3. And I believe they have one timeout left. Conley, quick count. Back to pass, throwing over the middle, and it's a touchdown. Well, Wilson's been the guy today. That's his second touchdown pass.
So Ryan Wilson, again, he's getting, the thing is, Danny, he's getting position on the defensive backs. The defensive backs are behind him. He's making the play out there, and again, he's a good-sized kid. I mean, he's 6'4", so he's got the height out there, and right now, Burlington has no answer for their passing game. Absolutely no answer at all.
So Mortada will try the extra point.
That's good.
It's real good ball.
That's good from about 50 yards out. So Foxboro makes him hurt. Burlington with the turnover and the fumble. Foxboro, 3 plays, goes in for the score with 16 seconds here left in the half, up 21-3.
And you mentioned one of the factors, Paul. You know, Foxboro's been here 3 times, the bridesmaid. You know, they want to sit there and they want to be at the altar when this day's over, and they're certainly doing those types of things to make that happen.
Well, they're making the plays that they have to make, Danny, and Burlington isn't making them right now. And that's the big difference in this game so far. Burlington's had an opportunity. Harrington stepped out of bounds. That would have been a touchdown down here, the turnover down here. All the little things that they weren't making those mistakes in previous games.
Burlington's only run 11 plays in the first half, Paul, and that's got to be a huge factor.
Exactly. I mean, you get the highest, one of the highest scoring offenses in the state, averaging 35 points a game.
And they've run 11 plays.
11 plays. So you're not going to score with 11 plays.
So the work needs to be done in the locker room at halftime. Mortada will kick the ball off. Will be very interesting to see if he kicks it deep. I mean, this kid's got a foot. Why would you scrib it?
He does again.
To give us the ball at the 40. With some timeouts, 46-yard line.
So gonna have about 10 seconds, 9 seconds left. So got time maybe for 2 plays, maybe.
Yep. And they have a timeout.
So 9 seconds here, left in the half, down 21-3. They take over first and 10 at the 46-yard line.
And remember, Paul, they get the ball back to start the second, or they have the decision of whether they want to get the ball back to start the second half. So.
Burlington High School from their own 46.
So here is Walsh, 3 receivers to the right, straight back to pass. Rolls out to his left, throws, incomplete to Harrington. Everything just out of sync right now for the Devils.
Yeah, it really is, because that's something that's been clicking all year. The little square out pass to Harrington, that time underthrown by Walsh. About 2 or 3 yards in front of him, hit the ground and skipped out. So I got time for one more play here. So
how far can you throw it, Danny Walsh?
Exactly. Just go for the end zone, boys.
I think we call this in Boston College folklore flood tip right. 2 to the left.
And Burlington not taking a chance, gives it off to Teddy.
Number 23, Ted Mamanidis on the carry. Ryan Marsh at number 42 on the
Well, a happy Foxboro crew running off the sideline pretty quickly. They're waving their arms, but you know what? They've got 20 minutes of football left in this one here. And Paul, if you're Burlington, you know, everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That was probably the poorest first half that I've seen Burlington play all year, and unfortunately it comes in the Super Bowl. So, again, Burlington, the good teams, Danny, go into the locker room and they regroup. Once they regroup, we'll see what happens the second half.
Halftime, 21-3. Let's get on to Kevin and Andy. Guys, take it away.
All right, guys, thanks. We're down here at the sidelines of the Super Bowl. You know, over the last couple of days, they actually have been working to get Burlington here by buses. We actually have a little more than 3 buses here today, and I'm guessing there's well over 1,000 people here on both sides. Burlington taking up 2 sides here at the Super Bowl. Sadly, Burlington is 21-3. They're down at halftime, but you know how these Burlington games can be. Burlington can be down, and all of a sudden they can just jump right back up and take the lead. So let's now hand it over to Andy Spinali in the BCAT halftime report.
All right, right now you're watching the band, and well, at least they're performing because the Red Devils certainly aren't, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, not what we expected right now. Didn't expect them to put even 21 points up throughout the whole game. Our defense hasn't played like they played during the Natick game, and they gotta both sides of the ball have to step it up when they come out during the second half.
Offensively, Scott, it seemed like they achieved what they wanted to with trying to establish the running game, but the passing game hasn't been there at all. A couple key drops, which are uncharacteristic of this team.
You really can't even say the passing game or the running game was there. The running game hasn't amounted to anything today. I haven't seen one decently broken run. There was one good pass play. As far as that, I mean, we've only thrown a couple more times, a couple incompletions, and 1 fumble. Nothing has worked. Absolutely nothing.
If you're Sean McGuire, Adam, you go into the locker room, what happens? What do you say? What rights the ship here?
Well, you got to try to instill in your team the belief that the game's not over. I mean, there's still 20 minutes left in this game. I think you got to open up the passing game a little bit more. I think it's there for the taking. I mean, they had that 1 long completion. I think you can get a lot more of those in this half.
And Matt, what type of changes on defense they had to make?
He's gonna have to talk to those cornerbacks and tell them to just step it up. Like, I heard him yelling at them, telling them to attack the ball. They're waiting until their wide receivers get their hands on it and then going after them. Like, even if the referees are calling the pass interference calls, you still got to be aggressive and hope for the best, you know?
And we should note that for the most part, the referees have been letting them play as far as the contact, so pass interference really shouldn't be an issue. As far as offense goes, Adam mentioned opening it up. They know it's going to go to Harrington, so I'm assuming it's time for Pickett and other receivers to step up. Scott?
Well, you got to start doing, open up the playbook. You got to, get away from the straight belly deep to Harrington. Everyone knows that's coming. I mean, deep to Harrington will work once in a while, and I want them to go back to that. But you got to spread the ball. You got to do some hooks. You got to do over the middle to Pickett. Incorporate Pickett in this offense because he'll make stuff happen.
And Adam, at halftime of the Woburn game, Sean McGuire told me that he told the seniors it's what you want to make out of this. With 19 seniors on the team, you guys are in the same situation entering the game against Lexington. How much does that play into it? And is he really going to say, okay, here you go, this is what you want to make out of it?
Well, I mean, as a senior, you're looking at it going, this is my last football game I'll ever play at the high school level. And for some of them, it'll be the last high school football or last football game they ever play. I mean, you want to go with a bang. You don't want to go with a loss. Also, I think they should open up with some play-action passes, get Pickett involved. Because they've been pounding the rock a lot. If they start, they do play-action pass, he might be wide open. So.
And it really seems like they're lacking that intensity, Scott, that we've seen the Natick game from the Woburn game on.
They look complacent. I mean, that's why you always hear from the coaches, you can't get complacent, and this team looks complacent. And they look, lackadaisical. I haven't seen one person step up on D. I mean, there's a couple of good plays by Teddy in the backfield, like Pickett with a nice tip. But someone's got to step up and make some plays. On the last drive, we had they were like 4 for 4 on third down, or 4 for 5 on third down, just down the field. And this guy's throwing up, most of the time, he's been throwing some good passes, but he's been throwing ducks up, and these DBs got to realize where the ball is and make a play on the ball. Like, it's not looking good.
Do you expect them to come out with a little fire in the belly?
Oh, absolutely. I expect them to come out going nuts. They better come out going nuts. They're going to come out if they make this initial stop on this first drive, because Foxborough is returning, they make this stop, they're right back in the game. I have no doubt.
So obviously, big play coming up, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee you right now, Coach McGuire is just letting them think about it right now in the locker room. He's going to walk in after about 2 or 3 minutes after letting the players think about it, and then he's just going to tell them what they need to do. He's not going to go crazy on them. That's only going to scare them right now. He's got to talk to them calmly, tell them what they need to do to win the game.
And one of the things we've noticed about Sean, especially over the last couple years, I think it started with our graduating class, is that in the past he kind of tended to be this really in-your-face, type of aggressive motivator. But it seems like the last couple years, especially in the Woober game, he's been very passive about letting the players decide what they want to do with themselves. Is that going to work?
I think for this team, you can't go undefeated up until this point and have, the type of character that's going to come out and just lay a goose egg in the second half. I mean, they have way too much heart to just come out and do that. They're going to come out fired up on their own. And I think McGuire knows that. That's why he doesn't necessarily have to get right in their faces.
How important is this crowd noise behind us, Scott, as we...
The crowd's big. I mean, especially when you get in the red zone down here. We have a great crowd on the Foxborough side behind us, which are a lot louder than Foxborough. But, I mean, even though, the crowd is big, the players got to make the plays. That's it. That's what it boils down to, so...
Are we predicting? Is it looking good or is it looking bad right now for this team?
Well, you got to look at the scoreboard and decide. 21-3 doesn't look good. But I know most of the kids on this team, and I know they all have heart. They all are gonna come out exploding, and they'll definitely make plays happen.
And I guess, Matt, one of the questions that you have to ask yourself is, this team has had the comeback juice in them all year. We even started on Thanksgiving Day. In awful field conditions, they really could have just laid the goose egg and said, you know what, we're just going to go into the playoffs. But does this team have one more comeback in them?
I hope so. I mean, the last games we've been to, you mentioned, they've been down at one point or another, and this is one of the biggest deficits of the last couple games right now, and hopefully they got it in them to pound the rock and make some get it to the playmakers. That's what they got to do right now. Get it to the guys that are going to make the plays happen.
And it seems like more than anything, the problem that Adam that's been persistent is, like Scott said, just this kind of lackadaisical, complacent attitude out there. Not to say lack of hustle, because that certainly isn't a characteristic of a Sean McGuire team, but it seems like they're just kind of going through the motions out there.
It seems like they have a little bit of an emotional letdown from the last game. I mean, you obviously have a huge playoff victory. I mean, it's tough to come out completely fired up, although Foxborough seems to have done it. Hopefully they come out, they get that fire back in their belly, and just come out and have a good game.
We mentioned those, the pregame jitters, and I know Matt mentioned that the experience might not mean much at this level, even though Burlington's playing in their first Super Bowl in state history. But Scott, you got to wonder if Foxborough, having been there before, kind of made the transition for them a little easier.
Well, experience is always helpful. I mean, if you've been here before, you obviously have an advantage over the other team because they've never seen it before. I mean, they've never been in a Super Bowl. We haven't even been in the playoffs, and Foxborough has been here the last couple of years. So, I mean, they know what to expect. Hopefully, we made key adjustments at halftime, and, see how it goes in the second half.
Bottom line, if the Red Devils make this comeback, who's going to be the go-to guy? Who's going to have to perform?
It's going to be Walsh to all the wide receivers. I mean, like Kaplan said, spread the ball out, not just Harrington, Like, I know he had a big fumble there in the last couple minutes of the game, but they're going to go back to him. He's going to make some plays, but he's got to go to everybody else. We saw Roach make a big catch in the Natick game and pick it over the middle. I mean, he's going to be a big part of this offense, too.
Adam.
The secondary, defensively, they have to step it up. They got to make some plays on the ball, force some turnovers. I mean, laying some big hits, get in the minds of the Foxborough receivers. They got to step up and make some plays.
Scott, who's going to be the difference maker if they're coming back?
You got to go with Dan Walsh. He's the quarterback. Quarterback has to do what the quarterback does and take control of the game. And he's got to step up, control the tempo, get up some quick scores, and get right back in this ballgame.
Guys, give us a feel for what's going on in the locker room, because you guys have obviously, in 4 years of playing for the Red Devils, you've gone to the locker room down big and important games. What's the atmosphere like right now? I know teams are individual and they have their own, but it seems like this seems very similar to your team. What are they thinking right now, Matt?
Well, whenever I went to the locker room, I mean, I was sitting on the sideline the whole game. If we were losing, I was scared to go to that locker room, really, because you don't know what he's gonna say, who he's gonna be yelling or screaming at. But I'm sure right now he's calm. He's like, because they've never been here before. He's gotta make them feel like I don't know, like he's gotta make them feel. I can't find
like the scoreboard 0-0.
Yeah, like 0-0. I mean, they gotta come out like they're fired up, and he's just got to not yell and scream at these kids because they've never been here before, and they're worried just as much as he is.
I'm sure there's going to be some yelling, you know, Coach McGuire in the locker room, and we have been there before. But, you know, he might come in. I mean, they're down. I think he's just going to sit them down and say, hey, look, guys, we're down 21-3. We're in the Super Bowl. What are you guys going to do? It's up to you. And I guarantee these kids will be crazy the beginning of the second half.
This is the type of game where you find out the true character of a team. You find out if they have the heart, if they have the desire to go out and do what seemingly is the impossible. You know, I mean, I'm sure McGuire's firing them up. I mean, he's definitely calling some people out. I'm guaranteed the players are calling each other out. I mean, but that's what you got to do. I mean, when no one's making plays, someone's got to step up and make all the plays.
I think the thing that we all talked about, Matt, is that we're not really concerned with the Red Devil offense. I mean, having to make a comeback, they've done it all year, but I think the real question is, can that secondary show up? Because, I mean, they're doing an okay job of stopping the run, but they're passing all day on them.
I think the defensive line has to help out the secondary, too. I mean, he's not getting that much time to pass, but I don't think they have a sack yet. I mean, they really need to put this quarterback on the ground, you know, like make him feel a little pain and pressure right now, you know?
All right, guys, thank you very much. The Foxboro Band is playing now. 7 minutes until we go back to football. Hopefully we will, guys, first of all, I want to thank you very much for joining on the halftime and the pregame. Hopefully in the postgame we'll be talking about a celebration, but it's a big comeback for the Red Devils. They're down 21-3. Dan and Paul are back with the call of the second half after this. Thanks for watching, everyone.
You can do it, boys.
Arlington High School Red Devil marching band.
halftime. So, what do you call that?
How about a big hand for the Burlington Red Devil marching band and color guard.
Should I change batteries too? Should I change batteries too?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Foxboro High School marching band and color guard. The color guard.
And now, another fact of Congress.
Take a look deep inside Congress and you'll find some interesting practices, and a lot of interesting words too, like filibuster. The word comes from the Spanish word filibustero, a kind of sea captain that would take control of other people's ships. The Senate rule on filibuster allows a senator to take control of the Senate floor for hours and hours by talking at great length. The idea is to slow down the legislative process, creating more time for a particular issue to be considered. The record for the longest filibuster goes to South Carolina Senator Strom Thurmond, who held the Senate floor continuously for 24 hours and 18 minutes. Well, no filibustering here. My time has once again expired.
This fact of Congress is adjourned.
Throw it is incomplete. So you changing tapes? What's that?
So again,
Second
an
half?
incompleted pass that time by the Burlington Red Devil. By
So we're okay.
Foxboro. Great defensive play by Burlington.
We'll just keep going. We had some we had some technical difficulties, Paul. So who knows what they got in the first couple of series. I'm sure they got that play, though. And the big thing there was it was the big play by the Devil defense. And now on 4th down,
On the other side.
Foxboro Moorshed will go back to punt. Here's the snap. Moorshed will kick it.
Nice kick.
He wobbles it out. Pierce, 48, down to the 43-yard line. Devils have great field position. 1st down and 10. A little confusion there. There was possibility of going for it, but nonetheless, they are moved down.
Again,
so
they were calling over here. They had a defender
all set
on
now?
that kick formation. They had a player over here to the Foxboro side that wasn't covered. Fortunately for Burlington, the play was slow development. They were able to get somebody over here. Burlington takes over 1st and 10 now at the 43-yard line, Danny. Great field position. Best they've had all day.
Marmonitis is the offset eye back with Buckley in the backfield. Marmonitis now right side, dives over the line. He'll get inside the 40 to about the 39, a gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
So again, Teddy having a tough go here today with the running game for Burlington. Not a lot there right now for that running game.
Wide right comes Harrington. Wide left goes Pierce. Tight end Pickett's on the left side. The offensive line, Lanero, Mullen, Warren, Steele, and Costa over the middle. Incomplete, intended for Pickett. He was double-teamed, the number 9. And there's the guy again, Ryan Wilson, come up with a big play.
Ryan Wilson had a shot that time for the interception. Ball a little shot on that time by Danny. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 7 here. Again, need to take advantage of this field position. Here they come.
There was contact, but the big rush, especially by number 72, Chuck Red through the middle, forced Walsh to rush his throw. And on 4th down, Burlington's got to think about punting the ball away.
Yeah, they're playing field position here right now, and they're trying to pin Foxboro deep. But again, give credit to Foxboro. Burlington, great field position. 3 and out, Danny. Really couldn't do nothing. 2 incompleted passes and a 3-yard gain on the one running play they had out there. So they got to make something happen here.
So Walsh will punt the ball away. He's back about midfield. And he'll scrib it out nice. And it's going to go take a Foxboro roll and go in the end zone where it'll be a touchback. And Foxboro will take over 1st down and 10. A 19-yard net gain on the punt by Walsh.
So Foxboro's going to take over 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. And again, right now, Foxboro playing, as you said, Danny, there's always 3 frag, offense, defense, and special teams. And right now, all 3 are working very well for Foxboro.
The one bright spot, I think the Red Devils special teams haven't been that bad today, Paul.
Exactly, they've been playing well.
7:32 on the clock. That becomes another figure we have to worry about during the course of the game. Mogan, deep handoff. Now, he was a spark plug in the first half. The less heralded of the 2 running backs, him and McCarthy. Now, we haven't seen McCarthy, or is he in the game? Number 5, he did hurt his shoulder.
I didn't see him out there.
He went back for 1 play on defense, I saw him, Paul. I haven't seen him back on offense of late. Oh, there he is. He is in the huddle there. He's offset to the right in the I formation with Mogan, the deep back. Goods a wide left, wide right, Wilson. Mogan. Oh, yeah. 77. Here's Lanero. Just a good football player.
He looked like he was shot out of a cannon on that play. He came out there hard that side, made a great play. Going to drop him for about a 2-yard loss.
3rd down, we're going to call it 9. Foxboro content to let the clock spin down. And
so again, another big 3rd down play here for the Red Devils. Stop Foxboro here, they get decent field position again.
Wide left. Good, he's been the primary target. I formation. Play action, roll out left. And he's out of bounds. I think he's Oh, that's a bad spot.
He got it. I think he's got, well, it's all going to depend on the spot. I think well, I'll tell you, it's going to be close, Danny.
It's a first down.
I think he got it.
Nose of the ball at the 30-yard line. I'm not sure in the spot, Paul. But then again, we can't see through the sea of blue and gold.
When he went out. But again, nice play by Conley. Enough room there. Nothing deep for Foxboro. Burlington had good coverage that time, but again, left him open. Once he got by that defensive line, he had a lot of room.
Mogan again, running over people out to the 35, where Jeremy Steele gets up from the bottom of the pile, albeit a bit slowly.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Jeremy Steele was about 6 or 7 yards back on that play, so that tells you he's getting blown out of there right now on that play.
Second down.
I formation, 2nd down and 4. I'll make it 6. Mogan. Out to about the 37-yard line. Well, he'll be about 3 yards shy of the first down.
So again, Foxboro going back to what was successful in that first half, running to their right now. Burlington's left side of the defense, and they're picking up some yardage out there.
3rd down and 3.
So as the clock becomes a factor, Danny, 5 minutes. This is a big 3rd down play.
Halfway through period number 3, 21-3.
There it is, quarterback.
Oh, baby!
And that's the break that they needed.
Bill Lundgren, number 45, who has been one of the unsung heroes on this team all year long. A big game the other night as well with the recovery, and Burlington has it at the 44 of Foxboro. First real big turnover. I don't know if I agree with that call, Paul, on the Foxboro side of the field.
Well, again, it's been successful. If you go back and look at the Red Devils through the year, they've been susceptible to that quarterback sneak a couple of times in the Woburn game. In the Natick game, it worked successful. So, again, they needed it. It was about 2 or 3 yards.
Walsh going up top. Oh, threw it over the back shoulder of Harrington, and just Harrington may have turned at the wrong time to know to get a hold of that one there. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Good with the coverage, number 1.
I'll tell you, Harrington's too. I mean, that's like the 2nd or 3rd one, Danny, that's been thrown to him. One off his hands and a couple others. He's just a little bit out of sync right now. Like you said, Walsh, he threw that ball that time to his wrong shoulder. Throws it to the inside. I think he has him beat.
I'll tell you what, the Burlington people want to learn how to tackle. We should check these 2 little kids out in front of us, Paul.
All right.
Walsh play action, rolls to the right.
Screen
not there.
Yeah,
he'll take it, he'll throw it out. What a great decision.
Great play, I'll tell you. Foxboro, again, Burlington setting up the screen that time. Foxboro had it defended beautifully. In fact, I think they had more guys in the screen than Burlington had out there. And Walsh making a good decision. Instead of trying to force it in there and turning the ball over, he threw it out of bounds. But again, it's going to bring up 3rd and long here, 3rd and 10.
3rd down and 10 for the Devils. Their offense has been minimal at best today.
Yeah, need a big play here.
Walsh back to pass, straight back.
He's got time. Ooh. Danny's having a tough time. Walsh is having a... He had Pickett off to the sideline. Pickett was wide open, had the 1st down yardage. Tough time passing right now. Skip the ball in there. It's going to bring up 4th down. So again, Burlington 3 and out again, Danny. Not generated. The offense right now just not clicking at all.
So on 4th down, Walsh will be in the punt again.
And we've noticed a lot of times today, they've shot-hopped that ball. Walsh is having a hard time passing today. He's been shot-hopping that ball.
Here's Walsh now. He'll look at the punt.
Oh.
Out the side of his foot.
Danny right now having a tough time. He was trying to get He was trying to shank the ball down the field. Ball
He's trying to avoid the touchback.
Exactly.
And he netted about 8 yards. So
about that. So they're going to get decent field position on the turnover here. Can't take advantage of the fumble that they recovered. And they're going to take over 1st and 10 at about the, where are they? 37-yard line.
1st and 10, Foxboro.
So Lundgren with the initial hit out there, but again, not wrapping these guys up. Had him for maybe a yard gain, picks up about 2 more yards off of that. It's going to be second and 7.
So it's Foxboro now on offense.
2 yards on the play from the 39. 2nd down.
Wide to the right side goes good. Slot right will be Wilson. Tight end Moorshed the right side, number 42. Quick pitch left side, Mogan. Tries to cut back.
Nice run.
And does so over the 48, and they'll have another 1st down. Jeremy Steele, 9 yards deep, making the tackle on that one. That's not where you want him making the tackle. Although the pursuit from the weak side was pretty good.
Exactly, and again, nice run that time. Morgan again hurdled a couple defenders out there, picked up some nice yardage, got 10 yards on the play. And right now, Danny, Foxboro in complete control of this game, offensively and defensively.
Their offense has been very, very impressive today. Clock is running at 3:22. They'll be down to about the 3:15 mark when the ball is snapped. Wide left comes good right down here in front of us. Wide right is Wilson. Backs now split with McCarthy and Mogan. McCarthy. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Correction, that's number 3, Dave Flynn.
So again, good stop by the Burlington defense pursuing down there. But again, clock becoming a factor, and now the Burlington's going to lose the advantage here in a couple of minutes with the wind behind their back. Foxboro's done a good job with it.
So it's going to be 2nd down. We're going to call it 11. Foxboro stretching the game out, using every inch of the clock that they can.
1 on the play. From the 47, it's 2nd down.
Motion now. Wilson goes to the right. Quick screen out here to Good. Good will gain about 3 in the Burlington territory at the 49, where it will be 3rd down and 7. Alex Miliano first in the stop for the Devils.
Yeah, Miliano, again, they had that defended pretty well for Burlington. 3 defenders out here. Miliano coming up with the big stop. They're going to bring up a 3rd down for the Warriors right now.
3rd down and 7. Wide left is good. Actually, he's going to go to the right.
He's shifting up, confusion.
Foxboro not afraid to use their timeouts.
Oh. And again, a little confusion that time. Goody's going to the wrong side that time. A little confusion on their offense. Call quick timeout. Big 3rd down play here for them. So Buckley over to the sidelines getting some instructions from
Coach George Balian. 2 receivers to the right. Rolling out, Conley. Throwing down the field, it's incomplete. Ooh. Scary part, Wilson was a step behind the defender, but the ball was overthrown, so on 4th down, it looks though Foxboro will have to punt.
Boy, was he open that time. I'll tell you, Wilson wide open down the right sideline there. Fortunately for Burlington, Conley put a little air under the ball and overthrew him, but he was wide open. So the Burlington defense holds here. They're going to get the ball back.
Up to 4th and 7 from the 49.
Harrington back there now with Kyle Pierce. Cable.
No.
Upstairs.
Here's the punt now. It's coming down. Fair catch by Harrington at the 21-yard line. And Burlington go back on offense, 1st down and 10. Just trying to figure out. We got 5 threes is 15. Paul, they have 90 2 players dressed.
Oh, yeah. There was like a wave. It just kept on coming out here. When we were here for warm-up, you didn't know where the end of this team was when they came out. Talk about an intimidating factor when you come out here. So the Devils 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Oh, scissors play, Pierce.
Yeah, again, that's, I tell you, Foxboro playing tough on defense right now. Burlington just out of sync on offense. Can't get anything really to work. Teddy's been held to minimal gains here today. Passing game really hasn't been there for Burlington. They lost a yard on the play, Danny, so it's going to be 2nd and 11 now.
Certainly a wave of blue and gold thus far today. Walsh back to pass, throws. It's behind Pierce, but he'll get out to about the 23-yard line, where it'll be a 3rd down and about 7.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Danny. The pass was behind him, so Pierce had his momentum was going forward. He had to stop and come back and make the catch, and he had to go down on one knee. As soon as he does that, the play is dead. So Walsh is off in his passing game here today. He leads him. He's possibly got a 1st down or more yardage here. He was on single coverage out here.
1st down. Correction, 3rd down and 7. Walsh back to pass. Here comes a rush. Throws over the middle. Harrington has it. A belated flag, but it's not going to make a difference as he gets out to the 39-yard line and have a Burlington 1st down. It's been a while, Paul, since we said Burlington 1st down in the same sentence.
You got it exactly right. We'll have to wait to see. I think it's going to be pass interference on Foxboro. As there was contact, Walsh, he put the ball right in. They had 2 defenders on either side of him. Holding against Foxboro. So that call will be declined. Burlington will have a 1st down. Again, Harrington with his first big catch here today.
On TV it would sound like holding. Number 1 in defense. Declined. 1st down. Result of the play, 1st down. That's what it says. So it's 1st down and 10. 3 receivers to the right as Walsh goes straight back to pass.
He's got time.
Has time. He has Pierce. He has the ball. It's a touchdown.
Touchdown, Pierce. So Burlington comes alive here. Kyle Pierce with a 60-yard touchdown reception.
And Paul, that was thrown absolutely perfect.
I'll tell you, he didn't have a lot of room for error there. And I'll tell you, Walsh put the ball right in there, but a great, great pass. Kyle Pierce stumbled and then just turned the Jets on and scores.
The score, Burlington High School, 9, Foxboro High School, 21.
Matt Valley on to add the extra point. Ball is snapped down, kick is up. It looks good, and it is good.
So point after's good. So
10 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. The Chiefs come back upfield.
So an electrifying play that time for Burlington. They held on defense, came back, got the ball back. Pass interference call gives him a 1st down, and he goes up top on the first play to Kyle Pierce. And again, Kyle with this great speed just outran the secondary. Walsh put the ball right there, Danny, in a 60-yard touchdown reception.
Walsh had single coverage, got behind the defender, hit him on the post pattern, and Burlington's closed this to within 11.
All right, guys, down here on the sidelines, this place just erupted after the long touchdown pass. Certainly something they needed going into the game. Sean McGuire said, big plays are going to win this game. We're going to have to stop them, and we're going to have to get them. Right now, they got one, and I think Burlington's back in the game.
You know, defense seems to be reacting a little bit better. We'll have to wait and see.
And again, what made that play too is that Walsh had all the time in the world back there to pass. He was able to set up, and he had a lot of time.
There was a great pickup of the blitz by somebody. I missed it. We'll have to watch it on film. But McCarthy came on the blitz, number 5 from the linebacker spot, and he was picked up at the last minute, and then Walsh let go of beauty right down the center of the field.
So it changes the complex of the game here. Still 10 seconds left in the 3rd quarter here. Burlington right back in this game now, down 11 points.
Back deep is number 4. That is Nixon, along with Mogan, number 33. Mogan's been a good football player in this game.
Exactly. Ball fell off the tee.
Coach McGuire on the far sideline trying to fire his troops up.
Walsh will try it again as the wind has picked up again.
McCarthy, the up back. Yeah, first on the hit for the Devils is number 87, and that's Sean Smith, a senior defensive back and end. And Foxboro have the ball at the 35-yard line.
So this is where the defense needs to come up here, Danny. They need to come up here big here on this series of downs. Burlington coming alive a little bit on offense. They need to get the ball back.
Foxboro High School.
Big players, we had a little extracurricular stuff going on down here.
Again, defense coming up big here for Burlington.
You know, some yummy, as they say, young urban maggot. The pants halfway down is to his knees. You know what? Just keep your mouth shut and get where you belong. You know what? Youth drives me crazy. Well, Paul, we've ended 3 quarters of play, and I'll tell you, Devils wish they could have started over about 2:15. Unfortunately, the first 45 minutes they had to live through was kind of a nightmare. But a better third quarter is 21-10. And you know what? If you're going to stop here, who knows what might happen?
Yeah, it comes down to the last 10 minutes here of the game. And again, like you said, they need to stop here on defense. They stop them here. They can get right now they got the momentum going. Big pass play by Walsh. They come back on defense. They need to go 3 and out here. They will get the ball back in decent field position. So again, calling on the defense again to come up big.
So, 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left. That play was a net result of a loss of 1. It's going to be 2nd down and 11. Foxboro have the ball at their own 35-yard line. They get the benefit of the win, although, Paul, the flag doesn't seem to be whipping as much as it was earlier.
It's periodic. You're having gust here, Danny, here and there, so I don't think it's not as big a factor as it was at the start in the game.
10 minutes on the board. Foxboro slowly to the line. Wide left goes Good. Wide right goes Wilson. I formation with Mogan, the deep back. Back to pass, straight back, looking. Throwing it down the field.
It's got him. It's interference. Yeah. Never turned his back, had his back to the ball, but...
Now, you know, the funny part is that it's a different rule. Might be a different rule in high school. All right, that's a professional football rule.
Yeah, right. Again, unfortunately, the ball hit him right in the back of the head. They're bringing the ball. Ball's coming back. Let's see.
No, it's a 15-yard penalty from the spot, Paul. It's going to be pass interference. So I'll bring the ball out to midfield.
Tough call there for the Red Devils on that play there. They had pretty good coverage on the play that time. In fact, the ball hit the back of the defensive back, hit him in the back of the head.
And I thought it was before the contact. I thought the contact was after the ball hit Roach. So, anyways, 1st and 10 for Foxboro right at the midfield stripe. Motion Mogan to the right. Mogan gets to the 45 of Burlington.
Number 33, Tim Morgan.
That's one of the better first down runs that they've had. He picked up about 5 on that play.
Pickett got chopped pretty good over here on the near side of the field.
He had some big boys out in front of him, Morgan, on that play coming around the corner. Pickett did a good job just to sacrifice his body to break up that wall.
2nd down and 5. 9:20 and it's spinning.
Burlington need the ball here. They got to come up with the ball.
Motion to the right. Flynn to the right.
First down.
Flynn down to the Burlington 38. We'll have another first down. So they go in that airplane formation that I used to call double wing, double receiver, single setback, and they run those counters right after the motion play. Been pretty successful in this series for Foxboro.
And actually that time Conley ran into the back coming around that time. It was almost a busted play. He ran into the back, but again picked up first down yardage and keeps his drive going. More importantly, the clock continues to run.
Oh, it was motion. McCarthy off tackle in the trap play. Steele with the stop, number 74. Gain of 2, it's going to be second down and 8.
So again, Burlington defense here coming to the challenge. They only picked up 2 yards in that, and for the most part, that run defense has been there today for Burlington. Big 15-yard penalty. You heard Burlington on the previous play.
Motion. Mogan.
Nice cut.
Nice job. They'll knock him back. He may have got to the 35 with his progress. It was Lundgren. It was
Romero was out there for the initial hit, and he had help from his friends.
Harrington came up. He third down and 7.
So again, another big play here. We keep saying it, but these third down plays, Danny, Burlington's got to come up with a stop here. Right on the border, whether this is 3 or 4 down territory here for Foxboro.
Third down 4, 7:30. Wide left goes good. I formation with Flynn the deep back. Conley rolling to the left. In trouble.
Oh, he had him. He had him.
Throwing over the middle, Mogan, and a great defensive play by Harrington to break it up. A great block thrown. As Conley took a wallop as he let the ball go, he may have been looking for an interference call.
I'll tell you, Steele got whacked out there, too. He had a chance for Conley coming around, and he absolutely got blindsided and leveled, but give credit to Harrington. He stayed with the play and made a big defensive play, as I thought there was some separation between the receiver and him. So in punt formation here now, Danny, Burlington's going to be deep in their own territory.
Moorshed is there. They'll shift out of this and go into what looks to be a punt formation. Snap to Moorshed.
Nice
high
nice
punt.
Nice.
Fair catch taken.
Again, Burlington again with a, we don't want to look like a mental mistake there, Danny. Kyle Pierce signaled for a fair catch on the 5-yard line. You let that go, you let that bounce. There wasn't any Foxboro players near it. Let it bounce and take your chance going in the end zone. They got to go 95 yards now. I mean, not.
Yeah, it wasn't another 15 yards. It's only going to take 6 plays to get down there, Paul.
Yeah, but you don't fair catch you don't fair catch at the 5-yard line.
No, you stand at the 10. He was probably in the wrong position to start.
Burlington High School.
So Walsh now to Marmonita's left side. Teddy out over the 5 to about the 6-yard line. It'll be second down, and we'll call it 8.
Again, some tough yardage down there for Teddy today. Having a hard time picking up anything. That defensive line of Foxboro really stacking it up there in the front. So Burlington with wholesale changes here coming in. They gave him 4 yards on the play. 2 yards on the play. I'm sorry, 2 yards. Got to be second and 8.
Clock though working against the Devils at 6.5 in a spin. Marmonita's in motion.
That's who he's looking for. Tough.
Now we got all sorts of flags all over the place. We have a flag back in the area. What might be holding, Paul?
I think you got to push from behind. Teddy had position there, and I believe the Foxboro player came up trying to play the ball and bumped him. Should have pass interference against Foxboro, and that's what the call is. Holding against Burlington, so
they're going to offset
penalties.
You know, I haven't seen a hold call, Paul, in 2 nights here. The timing of that certainly is tough, questionable.
Again, the referee throwing the flag right in the pack there. So offsetting penalties, what would have been a first down for Burlington. The play never happened. Offsetting penalties.
From the 6-yard line.
It's going to be 2nd and 8 again.
So it's 2nd down. We're going to call it 8.
Referee's timeout.
Timeout Foxboro. They didn't like something they saw, so.
Yep.
It's their second one, I think they said.
Something the way Burlington was lining up on offense, they didn't like. They called a quick timeout, brings his players over, makes the adjustment. But again, too bad for Burlington on that play there before, Danny. They would have had the first down, gave him a little breathing room out of it.
Yeah.
They're still on the 6-yard line, so they're in, dangerous territory here. But they're going to have to do something opening up. Only 6 minutes left in this game here. They're going to have to open it up here. They're down 2 scores.
Wide right goes Harrington. Tight end Pickett on the left side. Sorensen and Pierce the slots. Back to pass. Walsh fires.
Complete.
It's caught out by about the 13-yard line. It's going to be close to a first down. It's going to be 3rd down and about 1. Yeah, I think you'll see a little QB sneak here. Yeah, it's got Walsh written all over it.
Big 3rd down right here, and there it is, Danny.
There he is.
Call.
Big guy goes forward. He'll get himself a first down and stops the clock out to about the 18-yard line.
So just under 6 minutes here left in the game.
72 on the tackle. And Kevin McCarthy, number 5. 1st and 10, Burlington High School.
Back to pass, Walsh. Looking. Oh, just out of the hands of Ricky Sorensen, number 18. It just tipped off his hand. He had a step on the defender.
Again, to the wrong shoulder that time again. Sorensen looking in the ball. Sorensen looking out, the ball went in that time. So over his wrong shoulder, almost made a great catch, though.
Sorensen looked like they tried to tip it up there so he could corral it on his way down to the ground. A great effort, but it falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
So I think it's about time to break out the secret weapon there, Danny. Number 36, Mike Roach.
2nd down.
Screen Buckley. Oh, look at this. Make the move. There we go. Buckley out over the 40 to the 42. Fake screen left, screen right. Has some great blocks out in front.
I'll tell you, though, number 73 for Foxboro, Lorenzo DiMassano, came up. He made a great play on that play there, Danny, because he was about 5-7 yards deep, never gave up on the play. Buckley would probably had another 10 or 15 yards on that play, and he came up from behind and tackled him.
Now, listen, I have to ask you, and we have fun. What's that kid's last name?
DiMassano.
DiMassano. You are the best.
I'm in there. I was close.
And that's your cousin. Because all these Italian people are related.
So it's Dan Brothers that always throw me off.
He'd rather have those Russian names with a CZ. He gets all of those rights, folks.
But again, a good play, a good call that time. Nice fake by Walsh. But again, the clock a major factor here now, Danny. 5:28.
Yeah, they still need one stop. And the favor here is Foxboro's been using timeouts.
Right.
Okay, and that's the...
Yeah, I believe they've used, 2?
Yeah, they've used maybe 3. But the good part, though, is it stops the clock. Okay, for Burlington. All right, that's the thing. It stops the clock on Burlington's side of the field, which is you're doing them a favor.
Right, exactly. So again, Foxboro in their defense, they got a man that's probably almost 15 yards off the ball, playing center field.
We got weak side singles, Paul. Like you said, Pierce Harrington is almost due, and the one thing that Walsh has done, Paul. There we go.
A lot of air.
You know, and one thing what they've done is that his last couple of attempts have gone to the weak side of the field, and you know what that does is sets up the strong, the strong side sets up the weak side in the one-on-one coverage.
I'll tell you on that play, and this is where the wind is playing a factor that time. Walsh threw the ball up there, wind caught it a little bit, and you got a lot of air under it.
Right.
Allowed the defensive back to come in and make a play on the ball.
Yeah, that's for sure. So it's 2nd down and 10. Best football game today, Paul's been down here in front of us. Walsh back to pass, straight 9-step, looking, firing it down the field. Oh my God.
Now that was definitely, okay, we don't want to be homers, but that was definitely pass interference. He grabbed his arm and he gave him a push going by.
Well, let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is you get guys who can't run with high school kids. That guy is 10 yards behind the receiver. There was definite contact on Buckley. Now, it may have only been a five-yard hold or whatever.
On Harrington going down there. And
it was Buckley was the receiver, Paul, I think. Oh, that Harrington? Yeah. Okay, I stand corrected. That's my one mistake for the millennium. Teddy, draw play with some movement. Has a first down, Foxboro territory, and he's out of bounds at the 43.
And that's what they needed. They kind of crossed him up that time with the play call and expecting a pass on 3rd and 10. Ran the draw play. Teddy picks up about 12 yards. More importantly, goes out of bounds. So right now, Burlington's got Foxboro a little bit on their heels, Danny. They got the momentum going here.
From the 44-yard line of the Warriors.
Foxboro's giving them stuff in close, but they're preventing the deep pass.
But they're also now in the prevent defense ball. They've gone back. They've taken the 5 guys off the line. They're in a 3-4. Harrington to the 40. They're up there quick. You need 2 possessions, so you got to get it on 1.
So it gets about 5 on the play.
Buckley's back in. Wide left goes Harrington. Wide right, Pierce.
Got to move here, though. Clock is moving.
They're doing fine. You know what? 20 seconds of play I can live with. Right back to pass, Walsh. Over the middle, Pickett. Oh. Let me tell you something. Two guys who are big-time performers in Burlington right now. Pickett and Harrington look very tired. They've been beat up today. This has been a war down the field.
Especially Pickett. Pickett usually doesn't drop something like that, and you can tell just going back into the huddle, he's been hit out there, and he's a little slow going back. 4 down territory. This is 3rd and 6 right now.
This kid's trouble down here. Walsh looking, fires in. Great job by Harrington. Harrington into a defender there to make sure that Good didn't have an interception.
Well, I'll tell you, between Good and Wilson out there, those guys have been not only on the offensive side of the ball, they've been just as good on the defensive side of the ball as well. So this could be the game right here, Danny. 4th and 6. Burlington needs to get a first down here to keep this drive going. If not, Foxboro will be able to run off a lot of time.
4:25, 4th down and 6. Straight back. Fires. Incomplete.
So again, Harrington with the shot that time. Got hit pretty good. Goes for an incompleted pass. Foxboro's going to take over on downs with 4:18 left in the game.
And that one might be the one.
Yeah, Burlington really needs to come up big here now. And Harrington looks like he was hurt on that play.
Like I said, it's been a long afternoon. They've taken the lumps the whole time.
And some of the faithful here are starting to bail out on us.
People who beat the crowd will be on Route 2. They'll hear a loud roar.
1st and 10. Foxboro High School.
The Mansfield people here rooting on their Hawk champions.
Number 33.
So Tim Morgan just ran off about 17 yards on that play, and again, Burlington right now looks like a tired team right now, Danny. They're over and they're trying to catch their breath. And we're going to take a timeout.
On the field.
And it looks like number 36, Mike Roach, going off, and he's hurt. He's down on one knee. So Mike Roach going off. Again, an impressive run by Morgan that time. And give Foxboro credit, Danny. They're just beating up Burlington right now. That offensive line is firing off there. They know they got 4 minutes to a championship. Burlington somehow, some way needs to get the ball back here and go over with the quick score.
In motion, Morgan to the left. On the give. Morgan's been the guy, Paul, that's impressed me most from Foxboro today.
I tell you, Morgan and Wilson. Wilson have been the two guys. Morgan on the ground, Wilson offensively with 2 touchdown receptions and on defense as well. But Morgan has been picking up that. That's the second big gain.
And you heard about Morshed and Good and Flynn and McCarthy and Conley. You didn't hear about Morgan and Wilson. Wilson had two killer touchdown catches, and certainly has been a big difference in this game today.
Yeah. And again, he's made some nice defensive plays out there too. So again, Burlington's got to come up with something here. The clock continues to tick.
That's McCarthy driving inside the 30, down about the 28, where it'll be 3rd down and 6.
So again, Harrington with the stop that time, but again, another official timeout.
McCarthy comes off. He's been banged up all day. He hurt himself earlier, Paul. He's back out again, a true warrior.
Yeah, exactly. He went off holding his shoulder in the first half. Back out here for the second half. Just came off limping, so.
Second down, we're going to call it 7. Clock is running at the 3-minute mark. Morgan again. Pickett now.
Late flag coming in.
You know,
deep. Another flag.
On the tackle, there's a flag on the field.
So we got a couple.
He's going to call a face mask, but he's tackling the football. That's what he's going to call.
So we got 2 flags, one from the deep referee and one up close here. Pointing towards Burlington, so it doesn't look good, Danny.
Well, they're going to have a face mask here. The guy who's 30 yards off the field's been throwing flags all day.
Face mask against Burlington. And the second call is unsportsmanlike conduct against Burlington. So they got a double whammy.
There's one against Foxboro, too. Get back on the sideline, coaches, where you belong. That's a good job out of the official here. You know what? There's a lot of taunting. There's a lot of mouth going on.
Burlington needs to keep their head right now. They need to get the ball back, Danny. So they need to keep their head.
2:55 is.
So they get the
Coach
face
McCauley actually
penalty.
headed towards the down to the bench area.
So the face masking penalty automatically gives them a first down at the 28-yard line.
They'll turn the clock on with 2:54. Much as they would like to stop it, I think it might be a moot point at this point, Paul.
Yeah, exactly.
Clock winding down the great season. They need a miracle to try to put this one away. Morgan, Marmonides. He hasn't quit.
I was just going to say that, Danny. He's a kid that hasn't quit all day out there. So Teddy out there with the tackle, still giving it his all with about 2:20 here left in the game. Foxboro in complete control right now.
Second down and 9.
They'll have the 2-minute warning here before this play gets off.
No, I don't just.
Guess not.
That's a courtesy that happens during league play. Left side, Flynn. Flynn inbounds. Now Burlington will try to stop the clock. They take their timeout. When we have a timeout, Paul, we'll take a look at our crew. Catherine she's been known as Tabagi, Chris Flaherty, Kevin Carnell, Jack Gilbert, Chris Costner, Brian Zahora, Andy Spinali, Matt DeBarros, Don Flaherty, up here with us doing a great job. CJ McNeil, and of course, thanks to Trish, Jen, and Tia back at the station, and of course, Dick Linder, our engineer. He's the guy who kind of makes sure this all works. even when tapes get thrown across the studio. It's been a fun year.
It really has. It's been a very enjoyable year. Again,
to go 13 games.
Come up one game short for their goal this year.
Wow, what's this walking onto the turf? Look at those unis, Paul.
Big boys. Flag on the play.
Nice play. Miliano drops him back. There's a flag on the play first.
See what
Burlington will take a, we'll see what it's an illegal shift. That should be declined because they need not only distance, they need down and distance at the time. That covers both.
Yeah.
People are filing out quick here.
Motion call against the Warriors.
It's a motion against the Warriors, declined by Burlington.
Where's your buddy? Oh, I don't know, you got your buddy friend. What's that? Yeah.
Second timeout, Burlington.
So Burlington takes a timeout here. It's going to be 4th and 5 at the 15-yard line with 1:39 here left in the game.
From the 23.
4th down.
And this is the
13.
game right here.
Yeah.
Stops them here. They'll have at least another chance on offense.
Conley has them out. Split backfield. Inside handoff Mogan. Oh, yeah. Wow, he's still on his feet.
Third effort got it for him. I'll tell you, he was stopped in the initial. Second effort, he was stopped. In the third effort, he picks up the first down.
He just pushed Marmonitas away. Not a first down. It's going to be 4th down.
Be close.
No, he's
looking
at the wrong stick.
I'm looking at the scoreboard here. The guy, I think, died on the scoreboard. He's got 4th and 13 up there.
What's this? Oh, it's flag against, there's a flag. Yeah, they shouldn't even have this discussion. Put the ball down, point the other way. So Burlington will take over and down at their own 15. All right, Paul, can you score 12 points in 1:18 with 3 timeouts left? Here's your buddy, Paul, 73, Lorenzo. Di Tommaso.
Well, we'll see what Mr. Walsh has up his sleeve with 1:18 left in the game. He's got some time. Throws it up deep. Pierce.
Broken up by number 26. First time we said Greg Timpanek. And by the reaction of the bench, he might be one of those seniors they put in late in the contest.
But again, he had good position. Walsh, again, the wind playing tricks with the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
Good. It was a wobbly pass. Allowed him to get in position and knock it away from Pierce.
Not permitted on the playing surface.
Paul, those are some real ugly uniforms in the end zone.
They look like Rhode Island when they came in here, the powder blue. I don't know if wear a powder blue helmet.
Walsh now goes straight back to pass. Fake one way, fake the other way, middle screen to Pickett. Has a blocker or two out in front, and he's going to let him know it. He dives out over the 30 to about the 32-yard line. Coach McGuire willing them up to the line of scrimmage. They'll set the stakes, and they'll start the clock.
Number 26, Greg Timpanek. Pickett's run was good for a Burlington first down.
Walsh back to pass. Has room, throwing it up for Harrington, and it's incomplete.
That pass has been, he's tried that 4 or 5 times to Harrington down that sideline. It hasn't just been there today, and Foxboro knows that they have it now, Danny.
There's some celebration over this side of the field.
This is their 4th time to the Super Bowl. Previous 3 times in, they had been losers, so they played very well here today. Again, this offense and defense has played really well for Foxboro.
Coming into this game.
Walsh back to pass, throws. Pierce has it. Makes a move.
Needs to get out of bounds.
And he'll get out of bounds. Up at the 40-yard line. It's about a yard shy of the first down. Come on, Paul. Where's the Gatorade buckets? Let's go. Come on, they're right down here in front of us.
Number 5.
But again, Foxboro, an impressive offense, defensively, and special teams. They played.
Oh, here we go.
Today.
Here we go. Here we go, Paul. You know what? Do it right now. They're going to bring the stakes out to mark the ball. You know, the artillery has been spotted out, Paul. And hats off to Jack Martinelli and the Foxboro crew. He said 3 times a bridesmaid here. This is their 4th trip. They hadn't won one. If this game ends as it is, it'll be Martinelli's 200th victory.
And a nice 200th win, a Super Bowl championship, so you couldn't ask for anything more.
And one more on top of that. It'll be the 3rd week in a row that they've knocked off an undefeated team.
Right, exactly.
So they certainly would be proving their prowess here tonight.
So you got to give Foxboro a lot of credit, really. They came into this game, again, played their game. Burlington averaging 35 points a game. Just took the offense away from Burlington today. Burlington only able to put up 10 points in the entire game here, and pretty much taken out of the game by the tough defense of Foxboro.
Yes, they certainly have. So, and again, it was those same first quarter, jitters that they faced the other night, and only this time it lasted the whole first quarter into the first half.
Exactly.
3rd and 1. Walsh goes straight back to pass, throws, hook and ladder. Oh, well,
got the ball.
That'll wrap it up.
So that'll just about do it. Burlington with a little trick play there, the hook and ladder. Out to Harrington, he pitched it back to Teddy Mamaninas, but Teddy fumbled the ball coming around the corner, and that's going to do it.
33 seconds. It's time to take a knee in Foxboro. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's see, Paul. We should be able to get a picture of this.
Yep, Foxboro right in front of us here. So a knee and it's over here at Acton-Boxboro Stadium, Leary Stadium.
The knee has been taken.
And that's going to just about do it as the clock will run down.
No need to snap the football now. You see some nice handshakes by both teams. And Foxboro High School,
the Division II Super Bowl champions.
And you know what? They did it the old-fashioned way, Paul. They earned it.
They sure did, Danny. I mean, there was nothing cheap about this game. Referees weren't a part of this game at all. They just came out and played smash-mouth football. Took Burlington's offense away. Burlington didn't have an answer for their passing game. And give credit to Foxboro. They came in here with the game plan, executed perfectly. They're the Division II champs, Danny.
So a great job today by Foxboro. We've got to tip our hat to them, their coaching staff, their entire football community. However, it's time to flip the spotlight on the other side of the field.
Exactly.
You don't win 12 games and go undefeated and get into this day of the tournament without doing something special. And you know, I mean, we can sit here, we can throw all the superlatives out, but I think that the best thing we can say, Paul, is they did it on the field. They did it all season long. We can go over and look at the list of names and how they've played, but this is one special season, a historic season in Burlington.
Exactly, and this really put Burlington football at a different pinnacle now than it's been in the past. Burlington really just ran the table in the Middlesex League. Got by their arch enemy, Woolman, in a fantastic game. Come in here last Tuesday, beat an undefeated team in Natick that they were heavily underdogs in, handily, but they come in and face a tough Foxboro team. But this year for Burlington, and with the senior leadership led by Danny Walsh and Lanero, and, you know, go on and on, Steele, and just so many of those
there's
guys.
so many of them.
Teddy, you know, again, they came over Garrett Redford going down early in the season. What happens? Teddy Mamanina steps up, scores 20 touchdowns, goes for 1,400 plus yards. Again, just a great effort. Sean McGuire, great job this year coaching this team, getting them, and hopefully now you get something going here, Danny. It took 4 years for Foxboro to win it. Now Burlington's got something to strive for.
Hopefully we can get back here within the 4 years, but you're absolutely right. To sit there and to go over the list of names, you know, we could sit here all day and talk about how terrific each and every one of them, but I think the one thing that really we can look back on and see what encaptures the definition mission of this team, and that's the key word, is to overcome a loss of a Garrett Redfern, a kid who set the single-season rushing mark last year for both rushing yards and touchdowns, only to see touchdowns get broken by the guy who really was an understudy. He was a blocking back.
Exactly.
And to sit there and be able to overcome that and to reach their goals of not only making the playoffs, but winning the Middlesex League, doing it outright, winning a playoff game, and getting to this game here is really something that you can really build on.
Because how many teams are going to lose their primary running back, Danny? Ted Mamanita steps in there without missing a beat and carries him to a championship in the Middlesex League.
And we said team here, there are so many kids. You see Michael Caucasian out there on one leg joining the huddle as Sean's talking to his troops there. You know, there's nothing but proudness if you're wearing red and white today. And, you know, one of those days where they just didn't have enough.
Exactly, and you could tell, you know, again, you got to give credit to Foxboro because they took them out of their game plan, but they just weren't clicking. Walsh was a little bit off today passing, but he was off because he was getting a tremendous pass rush from the Foxboro defensive line. Receivers were well covered out there, and the whole game plan, again, Foxboro, give them credit, they did a tremendous job.
They certainly did. The better team absolutely won today. There's no looking back. You know, could they have played better? You know what? And like I always like to say, Paul, during this whole thing, is that there's times where, you know, there's a reason why the game ends up like it does. The other team makes you play the way you did. You know, not being sharp, not running, not doing whatever, you know, today has much of an effect on not so much the way Burlington played, but the way Foxboro did. So,
right, exactly.
Once again, Paul, we wrap up another terrific season. It's great to be announcing in December, as always. You know, we've been here for a while. We hope to be back next year. We've had a great crew all year. Andy Spinali's down there somewhere, Kevin Carnell. But this whole thing is put together by Corey and crew, and we couldn't ask for any more. As they give out the final trophies, championship and finals, remind you, this is Burlington Cable Television. Final score from Leary Field in Acton-Boxboro. Foxboro 21 and Burlington 10. We'll see you September 15th, 2007, Burlington and Arlington at Varsity Field. Good night, everybody.
Welcome to the post-game show, everyone, and certainly, Matt, a bitter ending to what was a historic season.
Yeah, like I said, not what we thought we were going to see today. Very disappointing for the players and fans, but I mean, everyone just feels bad for the players. They worked hard for 3-4 months, all off season. You know, this is not the way they wanted to end their season.
Felt bad for the kids. I mean, it was their season, and they just couldn't pull it out in the end.
And I think, you know, Adam, I guess if you have to look at, you know, the silver lining here, you have to consider, again, the kind of season they did have.
They had a great year.
As we look towards, and of course we have to congratulate Foxboro, and Foxboro really just played a dominant game. Scott, Foxboro just played a dominant game. I just talking about Foxboro playing such a dominant game.
Yeah, they pretty much did whatever they wanted today. Burlington didn't stand in the way. They didn't play defense. They only picked up a little at the end with one big play.
And Matt, it really seemed like, especially in that first half, they found the Achilles heel, and they had the quarterback that could finally beat the Red Devils secondary.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking going into the game. If this quarterback played above average, you know, I thought that they were going to have a good chance to beat us, because Natick's quarterback really didn't impress us. I mean, this quarterback really played a great game, and that's what beat us, I think. Their quarterback play and their wide receiver play.
Way to go, Foxboro!
As we look towards the future now for next season, I know it's a little early to start prognosticating here, but are they in good shape? I mean, they lose 19 seniors, got to hurt them for next year.
Yeah, they really hurt a lot of graduation this year. Before I started and stuff, but I think they have a chance.
All right, but overall, a great season for the Red Devils. As we wrap up now, we'd like to thank all the crew. They'll roll their names out on the graphic after. They've done a fantastic job all year bringing it to them. We'd like to thank Adam Burt, Scott Kaplan, Matt DeBarros for joining us in the pre, halftime, and post-game shows. Congratulations to Foxboro, the Division II state champions. And again, congratulations to the Red Devils, Middlesex League champions. They finished the season 12-1. For Dan Brothers, Paul Strati, Kevin Carnell, and our entire BCAT crew, this is Andy Spinali saying good night from Acton-Boxboro. Foxboro is the state champion. So long, everyone.